Hey, this is HQ back in the house again. Uh, Early today, we did our weekend thing about DDG and HALLE, right? And somebody said they had more conversation regarding the HALLE and the DDG, which is fine. I mean, they can come on, but I started this live because of protection. But when they come up, if they come up, then we can talk about it. We can talk about the DDG. But this live was regarding protection. Men protecting women. Do you protect women? Do you protect women? Do men protect women? And why do they have a hesitation in protecting women? That would be the question. Why is there a hesitation in protecting women? Why? I mean, my understanding is this started way back when they heard a woman say, I don't need a man. Well, she don't need me, then I don't need to protect her. Right? She don't need me, I don't need to protect her. Not really knowing or taking it too far, because they did take it too far, because that wasn't what a woman really meant when she said, I don't need you I want you, but I don't need you, right? And then a lot of women get guilted into saying, oh, I need a man. We don't necessarily need. We want, you desire, you hope to have. Okay. You want, you desire, you hope to have. If you're an autonomous human being, right? A lot of people want, need. I mean, maybe you physically need, mentally need, emotionally need. I get all of that too. But if I had to, or we were just wiped from the planet, then women would be okay. That's another topic, because nobody has come to me with any kind of studies or nothing that says that men can survive, women cannot survive on this planet without men, but that's neither here nor there. So when a woman says, typically when a man says he wants to protect a woman, I mean, it's a big variety of ways in which he wants to protect that woman, instinctively, socialized way. I mean, it just depends on how you were raised and what you find to be very important, right? Physical safety is probably one of the main ones. And I get that, physical safety. I get it. Shielding her from danger, shielding her from other men, defending her honor, being present when risky things happen. I mean, 9 times out of 10, those things are just very low on the totem pole of things being, needing to be protected physically. It happens. I get all of that. Maybe an unsafe neighborhood or her going to the club or whatever. But, these days it's been exaggerated and way out of proportion, because you don't need to protect the woman or do that particular physical thing every day. It's not really a physical thing. It's more of a mental, social thing. Okay. But I get where they say physical, right? Women are more interested in the man being emotionally supportive. Okay. Emotionally supportive. Okay. And I get it when they say, well, a woman wants my money and this and that. But, when usually when a woman talks about support, that's financial support too. So I get that too, but the emotional support is probably the most important. And when a woman says I need emotional support, she normally needs it because she needs a safe space where she can be vulnerable, or she doesn't have the fear of judgment against her. Because the ultimate way a person feels safe is that everything about that person. That's the ugly, twisted truth of that person. When someone knows the ugly, twisted truth of you and they love you despite that, that is the emotional support. I mean, not to that extent, because a lot of us are not that way. Not a lot of us are not twisted enough to have dirty, ugly secrets. Some of us do, some of us don't. But we'd love to be loved how we came in the door. I always say it that way. Love me the way I came in the door, regardless of how, when, where I come from, whatever. If you're gonna love me, then you're gonna love me from You're going to love me from a place of acceptance of all that I am, right? And the emotional support I mean from a man is that you have to put her in a space where she can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or you throwing it back in her face, her flaws or her character traits that are unacceptable to other people, but may be acceptable or easy to digest from you. Okay. And part of that emotional support is guarding her feelings, and uh, see, a lot of men say, "Oh well, you women don't like to hear the truth. You don't like to hear the truth." No, it's not that we don't like to hear the truth. The whole point is you're supposed to avoid words and actions that would deeply hurt a person that you care about. That's why you're supposed to be the guardian of her feelings, the emotional support that she needs to be vulnerable. Because if I turn around every 5 minutes, you tell them, "Oh, yo, you fat, you a big fat bitch," blah blah blah. You're not being a good safeguard of somebody's emotions. You're not being a good safeguard of someone's feelings. And how can she be? How can you be safe protector if you do that? Okay. And a lot of women need the protection of, maybe her. Well, I guess that's a part of the self-esteem where you as the man is supposed to protect her feelings and be the person that she can be vulnerable with, um, and it's uplifting her and when the world tears her down. So I'm saying this emotional support is it's a very critical dynamic of relationships, and the physical protection is just I mean, it's good that we have physical protection, but the emotional support and protection is the most important thing that a woman looks for. I mean, a lot of men feel it's their duty to be the rock, to be the shield between the door, the door and her. And I mean, that is a part of your job, and it's a part of her job as well, right? To do that, it's a part of her job as well as your job. Okay. And then uh you have to, as a companion, as a person that is looking to support, to physically protect, emotionally protect her, you are the person that helps to defend her honor or defend her reputation or defend who she is, because she expects you to stand up for her when other people may or may not like her, may or may not like her character, may or may not want to respect her. Okay. In a true relationship or in a true marriage or commitment or partnership or whatever, that is each one of your jobs. It's to stand up for the other person when other people are gossiping and disrespecting him or her. If you're in that relationship, you're in that companion, you're in that dynamic, it is a duty for you to be respectful or to have respect for that or defend that person's honor. Okay. And not let other people, take advantage of her, take advantage of him, or however it goes. This is a two-way street, right? It's a very much a two-way street when it comes to the defense of each other's reputation and character and that kind of thing, right? I mean, I would specifically expect a person that I'm with to be able to defend my character. I wouldn't give you any reason not to defend my character, right? So I'm saying if you're a part of a partnership or a dynamic like that, then that's a part of protecting me. Okay. And in a lot of cultures, I mean, in some of these Middle Eastern cultures, this is directly tied to a man's honor, is how well he protects and guards the well-being and the social dynamic of his woman, keeping her name and image safe and out of dragging it into some kind of negative stereotype or negative setting. Okay. Like I said, a lot of men in other cultures protect their woman in that way. She could take care of herself. No, I don't want to necessarily be in a relationship, or nobody necessarily wants to be in a relationship where they got to protect themselves. I shouldn't have to defend you all the time, and you shouldn't have to defend me all the time. Okay. And a lot of people there's a lot of stressors that come along with relationships where people got to defend other people all the time. I got to defend her because she's on here in a swimming suit or whatever. I got to defend him because he's having a fight in public. I got to defend, I got to do X, Y, and Z. All those stresses are not something that you need when it comes to relationships. Or if you want relationships to last, you have to tailor that. This is something we're not going to do. We're not going to be on the internet doing X, Y, and Z. But you don't bar a person from being on the internet. That's just like telling somebody what to do. I heard that the other day. Somebody said, "Oh yeah." It was the Doug Christie and what's her name? She told him he couldn't go nowhere without him. I wonder how he lived under that dynamic. But then there's a lot of people who do live under that kind of dynamic. She calls it protection. I call it stifling. Right? And if a man did it, I'd call it stifling too. But it was definitely stifling if a woman or a man did it. And stifling another human being never lasts. Something is always gonna fall down. But that's a form of protection, defending the honor or the reputation of the person that you're involved with, you're married to, you have partnership, whatever. And then we have how men want to financially protect a woman. And I get that too. And part of that wanting to have financial stability is to stabilize a household, stabilize a home, get married, raise a family together. Okay. Being reliable in a time of need. Are you reliable in a time of need? Are you reliable when it comes to, okay, I need to do this, X, Y, and Z. How can we do this, X, Y, and Z? And you have an alternative, or you can figure out an alternative. Right? Financial security is one of the number one things that a woman looks for, because that tells me that you're able to take care of me. That tells me that you're able to provide stability to me. But a lot of men interpret that to mean that the financial protection means that he's there to take care of me materially. But that doesn't necessarily mean that. I don't want somebody banging on my door in the middle of the night talking about I got to pay the mortgage. Or I don't want somebody banging on my door in the middle of the night talking about, oh, your husband owe me some money. Blah, blah, blah. All different types of ways in which financial security is a very important part of being in a relationship. And I hate when people say, oh, he got to make X, Y, and Z. Stop worrying about how much you got to make and worry about stepping up to the plate. Stop worrying about how much I asked you to make. Worry about stepping up to the plate. And worry about stepping up to the plate where you feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I can take care of a family, and regardless of whatever money come my way, I don't care what she asks for, I can take care of her. If it comes to shove, push to shove, shove to push it, push to shove, something like that. Right? And then you come into being a person that's a leader. And if he is a leader, if the man is a leader, and I mean a leader, not because not all men know how to lead, and not all men are leaders. So that's not how that goes. And some women are not meant to be led, and some women can lead. It is what it is. There's different dynamics on this planet. You just got to know which one in which you feel comfortable. Because you can't just come out and say, okay, I'm the leader. Sometimes you don't want to be the leader. Right now, there's a conversation going on another channel where a person is arguing about, I would take care of the kid. My kids provide just as much as my husband provides. So he is not necessarily him being a leader. We're partnerships. She making a case for it. I was just listening. She making a case for it. Me and my husband are partners. It ain't no leading. But the whole point is, when you want to be a leader, you are the leader. You are the guidance and the leadership, because you come to the decisions, and then that person feels safe and protected, instead of being uncertain and overwhelmed. I would feel very uncertain and overwhelmed if every month I had to worry about how to pay a bill. How are we going to eat? We don't have no money. How are we going to do this? We don't have no money. How do we do this? We don't have no money. I would me and my husband would have an issue. I would have an issue if you're the leader and every month I had to worry about these things, right? And I get it. When you're young and you're poor, you can do all these kind of things. But after a certain time frame, these are the things that I shouldn't have to worry so much about, as opposed to when I was younger, right? And then some people say, hey, you help a person, you guide a person from their bad choices and harmful people. Harmful people, guiding them against harmful people, I get that too. But me making choices, when someone says they're going to take a choice away from me, tell me that I can't do something or blah, 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 or whatever, that tells me that you think I'm not capable or I'm not mentally ready, or you don't think of me as a fully functioning adult like I'm supposed to be when you try to take that choice away from me. And this is a conversation I had the other day about a woman having autonomy. The whole point is stop being scared. As men, stop being scared of a woman having independence. Because what I know what you think. What you think is if she has independence, she won't pick me. And you're right. Maybe she won't pick you. But I'd rather a woman pick me for all that I am than for me to manipulate her into saying, I don't want her to do this, that, and the third, or I don't want her to be independent, otherwise she's going to leave me. How pathetic is that? You're concerned about her having choices and she don't choose you, so you're going to limit her choices. That's pathetic. Don't do that. Don't be caught out like that, right? But we do have men out there who do long-term planning and strategic things for their family, and I get all that, and that's what is needed. Okay. But we're all under the guise of the patriotic. What is it called? Oh shit! I can't even say it. Where the men lead the society. We're all under that same rule, and so and men are under that same rule too. So they come from that direction. A man has to lead. The man has to do this. The man has to do that. I get that too, but you also have to tailor all of that male thing towards another human being, which is the female, who doesn't necessarily flow with that. But I tell you this one thing, it's really fucked up when you're always going to be second. You're never going to be in the position of you're always going to be second. That's the only way I can think it. A woman is always going to be second. And that's fucked up if you really think about it. If men really thought about the position that women are in, it would be fucked up. But that's okay. It is what it is. Patriarchal society. That's what it is. This is patriarchal society, and women are always second. It is what it is. But it's fucked up if men put themselves in the position of a woman and then said to himself, I'm always going to be second. Just think about that. I'm always going to be second. Never first, always going to be second. If you, as a man, looked at it and said, let me stand in the woman's position. Let me think what she thinks. She's always going to be second. That would be fucked up. It is what it is, right? So, protection. Are you a protector? Do you respect her boundaries? Do you respect her boundaries? Okay. Protecting her from himself, managing his temper, managing his ego, managing his impulses, managing his instinctive thing to dominate and conquer. Okay. And a lot of men don't know this different, don't understand what I'm talking about, because you just don't. You have to manage and tailor things when you have a wife or you're trying to protect a woman and be in a relationship with another human being, right? You have to manage your temper, your ego, impulses. You have to listen to her needs instead of saying, women need this, because I hear a lot of men say that. A lot of men say what a woman needs, what she does, why she does all of these things. That's where your ego comes into play. And I get your instinct to protect a woman, but you have to listen to what her needs are and what she says her needs are, not what you think her needs are. Because that's not a form of protection. That's a form of protection. And letting her be independent while still offering backup when needed is another form of protection, because you're respecting her boundaries. You're respecting how she thinks and how she feels and what's important. And all of this is all of this is protection. And we say, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a form of protection. All of these things, when you're cognizant of these things, when you think of these things as a husband, as a companion, when you think of these things and your instinct to overwhelm and I want to be the protector, the most beautiful thing you can do is let her be the human being that she is and encourage her to be the human being that she is. Part of that encouragement, part of that love is tailing her or guiding her away from harmful things and harmful people. But she has to see it too. You just can't see it and say it. She has to also see it. Okay. But it's harmful. It's toxic people and situations, and I get all that he's there to help and do all of those things, but you also can't overstep and be more than what you're supposed to be. Be more than you cannot overstep that, because she's the adult too, right? And I get that instinct to protect, but sometimes it hurts, it harms, and women become stifled, and they feel that and they say that, right? But there's misconceptions about overreaching, and I get you feel like, oh, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, blah 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 blah. Sometimes you think you're protecting her and you're not really protecting her. You're trying to control her decisions, speaking for her rather than beside her, or rather than letting her speak for herself, or however, or being possessive or jealous in the name of care. You can't wear that dress because you can't wear that because of what? That right there is not protection. That's dominance and insecurity. And a lot of women don't like that, though. And it's difficult to balance a relationship when you can't control that. You have to recognize that in yourself. The temper, the ego, all of it. You have to recognize that in yourself. Women and men, right? Women and men have to recognize these things for themselves. Okay? Healthy protection honors her autonomy while offering support, defense, security, while offering those things. And I'm going to hear the whole bullshit. Don't tell me with the bullshit. You have to think about these things. Protection doesn't mean those kind of things. And if you're balking, if people are balking at what I'm saying about her having autonomy and you being there, then you need to really think about those things, whether it's the ego, whether it's the temper, think about why you're so triggered by a woman who makes enough money. She makes enough money where she can leave. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing if she had all the money in the world and she still decided to stay with your broke ass, or your dumb ass, or your bum ass, or whatever ass, or however you want to look at it? Isn't that the ultimate expression of love when I stay, even though I have every reason in the world to leave? I have all the money in the world to leave, but I stay? I don't know how this relationship thing works. I know how to navigate. I just know how to navigate these things and not run into these fucking traps. I don't inspire a man to control me. That's the thing, because he already knows I'm not going to do those things, because I'm not built like that. I don't get it. But it is what it is. Hey, look, I've been waiting for freaking Ty Pro, and Ty Pro ain't hit this motherfucking link. Ty Pro, you were supposed to hit this link. Yes, you were, sir. You said you was gonna hit that link. You said you had smoke. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't hit the link. Maybe I didn't put the link down. I'm putting the link down. Whoever got that smoke, whoever don't have that smoke, he was supposed to have smoke for me. What happened to that? Okay. And how to deal with it. Okay. She said, Rain said, so you are saying not to advise your partner if you see where they could improve. No, that's not what I'm saying. There's healthy suggestions. There's suggestions. Like there's suggestions. Of course you can ask the person and tell the person and advise the person. Of course. That's a part of being married, of course. Hey, hon, I think, if you did it that way, I think you can make more money. What if we did this and we can make more money? What if we did that and then you can have the weekends off instead of having to work? What if you did this? You change what you were selling. Instead of selling that, sell something different. Then it would be different. I think you would look way better if you cut that beard off. You got a handsome face under it. Why not cut the beard off? I think if you cut your hair, honey, you would look much better. You would be more beautiful. Here, look, if you lost if you lost about 5-10 pounds, you would be amazing. You'd look great. Yes, of course. What do you mean? That's what marriage is about. That's what a marriage is about. You make suggestions. Suggestions. That's the beauty of it. You're making suggestions, not telling a person you better not go outside with that skirt on. You better not be on that stage with your ass out. You're a mother, though. That's what was wrong with Keke Palmer's dad. First of all, you put that in the public domain. Second of all, you're trying to tell her what to do as an adult. You can never tell another human being what to do. You can make suggestions, but you cannot make those demands. No marriage is going to last when you do that. No marriage is going to last unless that person is completely and utterly submissive, and most human beings are not utterly and totally submissive. Nobody's totally and utterly submissive these days. So no, that's never going to be an issue for someone to have that conversation with another human being. Yeah, when you're mutually building, you have to mutually build. But here's the thing, you're not perfect and I'm not perfect. But when we come into a relationship together, there's the bare bones of everything. You don't pull me into a relationship and then start saying, HQ, you gotta change your hair. Oh, HQ, you gotta shave that. You gotta take that that beard off. Oh, HQ, you can't be wearing them clothes now. That's not how that works. That's not how any marriage is ever going to last or work. Okay. Yes, on this planet, Rain, it's messed up to say on this planet that most people think women come second. I'm not saying that's the way it is. I'm saying in this patriarchal society, that's the way it is. Okay. That's the way most men look at women. You come second. Most men. And then half the women. So basically the majority of society. And that's okay. Okay. But I'm gonna work within that. In this patriarchal society. I'm gonna work within that. Okay. We're gonna work with both of those. Okay. So in society, and we say, okay, those are things that men feel as though they have to protect women with, and I get it. I mean, women want the physical protection. She wants to be emotionally protected, socially protected, relational protected. Financially protected, I get all of that too. And she legally protected, but not so much. Okay. All of the things that she wants to be protected, but she wants to be protected. You want to be in a marriage. A lot of people want to be in a marriage. A lot of people don't know what a marriage and a relationship is. They think of it as we get together and we hunch. And that's all we do is hunch. We don't do anything but hunch. But how do you go forward if that's all you're gonna do is hunch? How do you go forward if you don't invest yourself emotionally in relationships? People want to be in relationship, but they don't want to do the work. It's work. This is work. And a lot of people are like, what kind of work? What kind of work you talking about? Work as in putting another human being first, as in putting another human being's welfare above your own sometimes. That includes women too. And women do it a lot. Because women just don't get up and leave. They just don't do that. Okay. I mean, I'll base any amount of money on it. They don't just up and leave. It's not a large percent of women who just walk out the door. That doesn't happen. It's something that is catalyst. There's all kinds of warning signs before she walks out of the door. She's talking to you. You're not listening. She's doing X, Y, and D, and you're not changing your mind. I'm talking about women leaving because of X, Y, and Z. Okay. The only reason why I would leave in a relationship or walk out on a relationship is because I don't feel protected. Because if I don't feel protected, if any dating profile that I put out there, I put out 2 sentences or 1 sentence. I'm sorry, 1 sentence. I don't even fill that shit out. Half the stuff I don't even fill out. I just put my name, my age, and all that other good, all that stuff. But on the communication and what I want to know, I put 1 line. I need to feel safe and I need to be protected. I need to feel safe and I need to be protected. Now, it's up to you as the man to interpret what I mean by that. And the man that comes correctly when I say that is the man that I choose, right? If he has the height, if he has all of those things. So he already knows what I'm looking for, so he doesn't come unless he has those things. Okay? And that's knowing what you need to feel protected. Not every person comes and they make you feel protected. Not every man is like that. No, not every man comes across as protective. But it's 1 line. I need to feel safe and I need to be protected. And it's up to you to interpret. Men say, what do you mean by that, HQ? What do you mean? I don't know what I mean. What you think I mean? Think about that. What the hell you think I mean? Do you think I mean money? Do you think I mean money? Because if you think I mean money, then you need to go right back out the door and then figure out what I mean by safe and then protected. Because there's different levels of protection and safety. Figure it out. And then come back to me and say the sentence and say what I need you to say. Say what I want to hear. Because a lot of men have not thought about that. You haven't thought about what I mean by safe and protection. Okay. And protection includes provision. Protection includes safety, me having autonomy, me being to be the best that I can be, you not stifling my thought or you not stifling my action. Specifically, if it's not detrimental to the relationship. And most people don't do things that are detrimental to the relationship until they're feeling reckless and unappreciated and they just don't want to deal with it anymore. Then they start doing reckless and dangerous things to the marriage. Most people don't. If they want to stay married, you don't. You have those thoughts and then you push those thoughts away. As a grown, emotionally mature human being, that's what you do. But it is what it is. And hey. Ty Pro, I sure dropped that link, Ty Pro. I sure dropped that link for you. I sure dropped that link. Come on up here so you can give me that smoke. You said you was going to give me some smoke. We're going to get some. So figure out what you mean. Figure out what you mean. Oh, okay. What figure y'all in here tripping? What do you mean we in here tripping? I don't know what you. I'm just saying most human beings in a patriarchal society think men come first, women come second. You don't like to hear that, but that's the way it is. Okay, it just is the way it is. Men are the leaders in this society, and most men think that way. Most men think that way. Figure out what I mean. What that means is I need you to go. When I say I need to feel safe and I need to feel protected or wanted or whatever, I mean you have to have thought about that before you approach a person like me. You have to have thought about that. Specifically, if you're coming through a dating app, and I'm on a dating app. I'm not on a dating app. It just ain't on it. Except that goofy one we did a couple months ago, and I ain't been back on that since. And that damn, oh yeah, it was what the hell is it called? POV. I did on POV, and I keep getting notices every day on that shit. But I don't answer that because I'm not going on the dating trip. Okay. Sounds like us women just want everything. No, it's not a matter of us wanting everything. That's not how that goes. Not do you want everything, Rain? If you want everything, then I'll believe you. But if you don't want everything, then why would you say it? That's not how it works. Ty Pro, hey, you supposed to jump up here. Come up here. Well, what smoke you got for me? What smoke do you got for me when I just put facts out there and I finally read up on this DDG and blah, 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 right? So I'm saying to Rain said, sounds like us women just want everything. Do you want everything, Rain? If you want everything, then I believe you. But if you don't want everything, then don't say we all just want everything. Because not all of it. I'm pretty sure I don't know about maybe Raquel don't want everything either. So if you're running, there's a whole bunch of women in here who say no, we don't want everything. So that can't be the truth. So why would you even say sounds like we just want everything? No. No, I'm not severely can't take. I'm waiting for the smoke from Ty Pro. Ty Pro said he had smoke for me. I said I was going to do, this session on protection. Are you the protector? Are you? And I did that. So I expected him to come up and give me some smoke on this DDG. And I was like, what smoke? I didn't say anything out of ordinary. He's the one who said something out of ordinary. He said that DDG came up and disputed what Halle Bailey said. He didn't sweat. He didn't do that. I mean, DDG didn't do that. He just presented his own evidence, his own same evidence, and they will fight it out in the courts, right? And they'll do that. They'll fight that out in the courts, and hopefully they can get away with whatever they can get away with, and he'll be able to get shared custody with her. But we don't know. You never know how that goes. Ty Pro got his ass up. You see, look, Ty Pro, I would not have come live. I just came live with the subject because you said, oh, I left before you can give me the smoke. Now, when I come up here at 4:30 to get the smoke, whatever smoke you said you had, to get the smoke, you ain't here. Okay. One less than everything is all right with me. Okay. I want to. You just said you want provision, protection, and autonomy, which is everything. You want everything, not me. I'm happily listening to my husband without complete autonomy. Some people are happy with that. But are we talking about, what are we talking about here? Provision. That's not everything. And even if it is everything, even if I grant you everything, what's wrong with wanting everything? But I don't believe that's everything. But even if a woman does want everything, what is wrong with that? Okay. Because I'm looking at. You said you say, well, I see, I don't know, I don't understand how that. Well, we have different interpretation. People make it sound like autonomy means that I can't be a good wife. So I don't get how that makes you not a good wife if you have autonomy. I don't understand it, but yeah, I have autonomy. I mean, it's I guess the ability. I don't need someone to make those decisions for me. I know how to make those decisions for me without outside control or influence. I don't need anybody to make decisions for me. Okay. Maybe you need somebody to make those decisions for you. I don't. And yet, I can be a woman who doesn't need those decisions made for her, can still be a good wife. And you could be a bad wife. You could be a good or a bad wife. I'm just saying, you say you're not autonomous. I say I am. I'm assuming you know that you're a good wife. I think I'm a good wife. So neither one of us is wrong. I'm just saying you can do one and the other. You could be autonomous and be a good wife. I mean, it's just a matter of respecting a person's boundaries. Okay. It's the freedom to make choices about your life and actions and body and all of those things in conjunction with how it relates to another human being. That's the only difference. I can make those choices, but it just has to be within the context of taking another person into consideration. That's all. But I make the decision first, and then I consult another human being. I don't consult another human being unless I want to, but I also individually make that decision on my own, right? So, that's what I mean. What's my what? No, my husband doesn't get to tell me how to dress, how to do all of that. He doesn't get to tell me. He gets to be a part of that conversation, but he doesn't actually come out and say, "You better not go to that bar. You better not do that." That's not his function. That's not his role. That's not how that works. Celibate. I don't know. I guess you could be celibate. There's nothing wrong with being celibate. What's wrong with being celibate? Wait a minute, hold up. What do you mean? Why are you asking me? That's a person who decides to stay away from sex. You don't know what celibate means? Who deliberately decides to stay away from sex. That's what celibate means. I deliberately decide to stay away from sex. That's why I'm celibate. What do you mean? I don't get it. Why are you asking me what that means? Right. But it is, how do you make you good? How does that make you a good? How does what make me a good wife? How does what make me a good wife? How does what, Tara, Matella, how does what make me a good wife? Good evening, Tara. How does what make me a good wife? And we supposed to argue the point. Apparently, we have different sides of that issue. People have different sides of that coin, right? You have different sides. You feel like a woman should be. I don't understand what's the difference between. I don't understand what you mean by. I don't know what you mean, Tara. Matela. How does that make you a good? How does it not make me a good? How does whatever you're talking about not make me a good wife? How does not considering your husband's opinion? That's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I said was I make the decision. I make the decision for me, and then I can consult him about a decision, and it depends on the decision too, right? It depends on the decision. Okay. It's not a matter of me going through my husband every time I make a decision. That's not how that goes. Okay. How does not considering your husband? I didn't say that. I definitely did not say that. What I said was I make a decision about my decision, my personal decision. Then I can consult my husband, and it depends on the decision. It depends on what we're consulting. I don't necessarily consult with my husband about everything that I think or may want to do. That's not how that works. I'm an independent person. Hello, Triple X.
What's up, Dream Girl?
You came on here for what? Smoke. Uh, I
All
just
right. So you say, yeah, no, I had to come up here and spend
yeah.
some time with the funniest lady on YouTube.
Hello. What happened?
Hey. All right. I want to make, before I attack anything, I want to make sure I understand the argument correctly. Yeah.
Your argument correctly. Right.
Yeah, the baseline exactly of what the debate is, the disagreement is.
Yeah, what the agreement is. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Can you give me just a little quick summary? Because I seen the DDG thing, but I had to pop in and out.
Oh, okay. The DDG thing. No. When we had a discussion about it Friday, I had not read or heard anything about the DDG thing.
Yeah.
And then I read about it yesterday. Thought about it, contemplated, went the timeline and all of that. So I was good with what my understanding was. I was good with the timeline. Then Ty Pro said he had smoke for me regarding it.
Okay.
What smoke do you have for me?
Does he disagree with your position on? Let me guess, HQ. The girl did everything right, I assume.
No. I said both of them had issues. Both of them did things.
Well, look, I don't want to sound biased when I say this, but I think Jason Black did a breakdown of that Friday, and so he went a little bit more in depth than what I actually knew at that point.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Y'all taking this to the extreme. That makes no sense right there. That line right there makes no sense whatsoever. What human being doesn't consult their spouse? What human being doesn't consult their spouse? And depending on what it is, why would they need to? Would they need to, or would they not need to? Okay. I don't need my husband to tell me what dress to wear. Maybe other women need their husbands to tell them what dress to wear. I don't need my husband to tell me what dress to wear. I know what dress to wear. Okay. I don't need my husband to tell me, well, you can go back to school or you can't go back to school. You can or you can't. I don't need my husband to do that. That doesn't mean that I'm not a wife. Wives come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Okay. The whole point is the autonomy piece. I don't feel respected. Maybe the women in the art, maybe they do feel respect. Maybe you feel respected when someone tells you what to do. I don't feel respected when you don't consider what I think, or you don't let me make my decisions about my body. I don't feel respected. Okay. Maybe the other women in it, maybe you all feel respected. Maybe that's how you live. I don't live like that. Or any man that comes my way has to respect my autonomy, just like I respect his. Like I have respect for his body, he has respect for mine. So I don't get to walk in the door and say, you better not wear them pants. You better not do that. No, he doesn't get to walk into a room and say that to me. That doesn't mean I'm less or more of a wife than any of them. That's goofy logic. I'm a fully capable and functioning human being. That's how marriages last. Fully functioning human beings who understand the importance of being married, who understand the importance of regulation. I'm not saying I don't consult my husband on most major things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is over my personal individual body, that's not his call. That's my call, because that's my individual body. What do you mean? This is a goofy statement right here. Any wife that doesn't consult her husband on decision is a true wife. That's not what I said. Back to triple.
Okay, you was before you responded to that, you was about to respond to me.
No, I just said that I didn't have any position whatsoever.
Okay.
He
I was commenting. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was commenting and saying, yeah, Jason Black did a big breakdown of this, that what y'all discussing on Friday. I wasn't super familiar with it before then, but yeah, I see what's going on with it. Yeah, look, the girl sounds like she's a little unstable, and he's a young guy, so he isn't really equipped to handle that situation like that and interact with a girl like that because she's a handful, and you really kind of need to be seasoned. He like the same age as her, maybe a little younger. She's a handful. Just from everything I heard and seen and read about after that.
And he's a handful too. Don't forget.
In which way is he a handful?
He's a handful too.
What exactly did he do to make that? Will you make him consider him to be a handful?
I can point to a couple things. Okay. I can point to the fight that he had online in Twitch the other day, May 31st. I can point to that. Him and his brother had a fight online. He in the middle of a custody thing, and they're fighting.
Yeah. I think my thoughts on that. It's funny you mentioned that. My thoughts on that is, when I say a handful, we gotta be realistic for like what we're talking about here too. These are still really young guys, like he ain't doing nothing different from what I was doing. So, that's normal. Your sons that did it. My son, not my sons, but your sons that did it. My auntie's sons that did it. I done did it. I could go out right now and hanging out with somebody on a motorcycle and somebody be like, hey, that's a stupid bike. Right. Like, why'd you buy that? I'm like, yeah, your mom bought it. And then guess what? We at it, So we don't know the contents of it, but I agree with you. It's not smart to do when you're in a custody battle like that. Now that I will concede.
Now you said she. What did you say she was?
I said she, as far as being in like an actual relationship. Yeah, she's like she's proven to be a handful, because I was looking at the Texas. They was having a text exchange.
Are we talking about the Texas that happened a year and a half, 2 years ago, or are we talking about the Texas that she's had recently?
I'm gonna say this. I don't care if they happen
after her postpartum depression.
Let me say this. I don't care if they happened 5 years ago or 100 years ago. Anytime she talking about grabbing my gun and acting a fool with it, that's an auto disqualify for Lex. Period. Because I don't play about no guns with no women like that. For real. That's an auto disqualification. No justification for that. She could be going through things or whatever. She talking about grabbing a gun. That's a no. That's a no for the Lex.
Yeah, she grabbed the gun.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
So I looked at that.
Yeah.
I looked at that. I looked at the context of why she did it, getting a gun and running outside. She didn't point to nobody. So
you giving her a pass?
No, I'm not giving her a pass. I'm looking at it in a medical light. Would she have done that normally? She told her psychiatrist she was having postpartum depression.
You know what?
You said that.
Hold on. I
don't know that to be true or not.
Right.
But I do know women who've been under postpartum depression, and that is a real thing. So we can't just dismiss that. Okay, that's a real thing. But if we put that on her side, she pulled the gun. Okay, boom, you did that. That's on your side is a negative, young lady. we go on the side of him. Under no medical condition, he's not having postpartum depression. According to her, he breaks into her apartment. According to her, he had a fight May 30th with his brother.
And brothers gonna fight. Cousins gonna fight.
Okay.
I done almost fought my cousins 100 times.
Yeah, but
and they older, but that's how it goes.
You're asking for custody.
That's true. But we gotta understand, you could be asking for custody, but when disrespect enters the room, it may be go time. It ain't smart, and it's not the move to do. But like, I'm sure Mr. Walker, he's in the chat. Shout out Mr. Walker. I'm sure he has his threshold, whether he's in a custody battle or not. If somebody's saying something to him out of the wall, he probably like, man, you better get on with all that. And if the guy insists, it's probably gonna be some furniture being moved. That's men, HQ. Men ain't women.
So,
all right.
So we have to take into context what happened with him in this fight. We have to take into context that boys will be boys. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So he had postpartum depression. Same thing.
All right, hold on. See, this is the thing. This game called life, and hey, look, I'm a student of it. I'm still learning. Nobody knows everything, but I like to consider myself a student of the game. And while it's not exactly the same thing, HQ, the thing that I've always found interesting is I've had a lot of people in my family and just people I've known growing up from a young age, and they've been able to always play the game like, oh man, I was going through something when that happened, or man, I was on dope, I was on drugs when that happened. And it's always been able to be used as a get out of jail free card. And on top of that, and I don't want to downplay addiction or any other mental issues or anything, because that is a real thing, but I've seen that get them out of so much bullshit. And these people have later turned around to become predators, you know, while being able to use that as a crutch. So this is a really slippery slope you're climbing. I'll let you use it because it is real. I can't say it's not real because I would be disingenuous to say that. But it's a very slippery slope, HQ. And I can see this from the other side because I done lived it. I had a front row seat since I was 7. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we can't give.
We giving the grace. I'm giving the grace. I'm giving the grace, and I'm acknowledging what you said, that it's a real thing, and I'm giving the grace. However, I watch it, I give the grace, and I watch it with a wary eye because I've seen the game played. I've seen it played by multiple people, and I'm not saying she's doing it, but I watch it with a wary eye.
Yeah, but. We have to, if we erase that, I
give the grace. I give the grace, but that's the way. That was wild, though, man.
But we could take it away. We could take it away. We could take away the running outside with the gun and sitting down in the yard and doing whatever. I get all of that. Text messages are X, Y, and Z, whatever. we can set aside. You say, let's set it aside where DDG and his brother was, going to do some kind of fighting on May 30th. We can set all of that aside. We can set those things aside, right? And then we be related. We just leave the fact, and we can sit back and we can set to the side. Her chip.
I'll say this.
Her tooth.
Here's the thing: between those two things. The gun is more egregious to me than the fight. The reason why is because we don't know the extent of why that fight happened, you know. But even if you're in something in the middle of something, I'm just not gonna let nobody deck me in the face and be like, "Oh, well, I couldn't fight him." You know, I'm in the middle of a custody battle, so I can't fight the guy. He decked me in the eye, though.
Right.
That's not how that works.
Okay. So how do you weigh in? How do you say the gun is more egregious? And I get it. The gun has a lot of weight. How do you put the gun as the more egregious when that happened a year and a half.
Because that gun,
I can't
tell
finish.
you why.
What? I can't finish. Wait.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why would that be? Why would that be more egregious just because it's a gun? Because that's the way you're thinking is because it's a gun. That's more egregious, and that happened when women, when you have postpartum and they're suicidal. That happened a year and a half ago. She's gotten counseling. She's gotten help. She's faced her problems. Faced the fact that she was suicidal. Faced the fact that that was a serious thing. But DDG just happened to have that fight 4 days ago. Now, my stuff happened a year and a half ago. Yes, Your Honor. I was feeling suicidal. I felt like this. X, Y, and Z. I grabbed the gun, ran outside. I didn't threaten nobody. I just said I wanted to end my life. Blah, blah, blah. A year and a half ago, but I got counseling, Your Honor. I did all these things. But he's having fights 4 days ago. Who you think the judge is going to look at and say, wait a minute, how you going to say she's a hinder? How you going to say she's the more unfit parent and you're going around having fights, having fights between you and your brother, but she had this happen to her postpartum depression a year and a half ago. Why would I think she's more of a detriment than him?
Let me know when I can jump in.
That's what the judge is going to say. So they should be going to court sometime this week, I guess. So
all right, let me know when I can get in.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, here's my breakdown. Simply because the guns take life, and that's much more of a risk than two guys slinging around and wrestling. You know, we don't know the extent of whatever with the fight or whatnot. Once a gun comes into play, it's a much higher level of heightened urgency. So if you go down somewhere and you get into a tussle with some guys, you're like, man, I got into a tussle with this guy, that wow. If you go somewhere, I got into a tussle with this guy and his man pulled a gun on me, that is a much more serious situation, you know? And every guy I know is going to react to that situation in a much more serious situation. A life was on the line once that gun got pulled. Once a gun is produced, life is on the line.
Yeah.
That's why it's more serious. The judge should see it that way. If he or her is worth their salt.
And you know why he won't see it as important as what currently they're doing? Is because she went behind it and she got help for her.
I get that. But see, here's the thing though, HQ. Many people assassinate people with a gun, and then they try to later say, I plead insanity, or I plead this, or I plead that. And they try to get a mental evaluation and all of this other stuff. That has been played in many different cases. And very rarely is things overturned because of that.
Right. But she filed and explained all of it.
I understand. And that was
she's going to explain to this
coach. She was coached to do so.
Right.
I'm sure she was coached. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's supposed. I guess she's going to explain it this week.
Yeah.
So she's going to explain. The text messages. She says, Daryl has exaggerated beyond. Daryl has exaggerated. Yeah. Now, the question she said is, if Daryl was so concerned about me mentally, why didn't he try to take the baby away from me before?
Well, that's a good question. I can't answer that because I don't have all the backstory. So
that's what I'm saying. See that where it falls flat.
But I know she had that gun and life was at risk. I do know that for a fact. Yeah, and that would be my concern. But this is very much gaslighting, HQ. Good
no,
job.
no. y'all emotional about this. I'm not emotional about it. I'm not
There's no
invested in
emotion.
this.
There's no
I'm not
emotions here.
I just know from working with the courts and
Yeah.
working with judges. I
Yeah.
know how they're going to look at it. They're going to look at it like she had an issue, because that's how they look at it. You had an issue. You went to counseling. You got therapy. This is what it was called. Your therapist can come in and testify. This is what it was. She got help. So no, he's not going to look at the gun thing and say, no, you had a gun. It's very serious. That's not how he's going to look at it. He's going to look at, did you get help? Did you recognize that you needed help? Do you recognize that that you were on the verge of X, Y, and Z? And that's when her therapist comes in. Here's my therapist. I've been under therapy for a whole year because of X, Y, and Z. That's what she's going to do. Now, DDG.
I'm sure she is, because she's been coached. Go ahead.
DDG has filed his countersuit this week. So DDG, you filed this countersuit saying she was a what is it? She was a harmful. She was a threat to our son, my son, blah blah blah. Sir, when she did this a year and a half, why didn't we hear about this a year and a half? That you were concerned about her welfare, her mental welfare.
Hey, I think, you know what, to a degree, HQ, this is a straw man argument. And the reason why I say that, and one of the main reasons, is there simply isn't enough evidence of known information to make a conclusive position. Now, it's a potential for more stuff to come out, and for me to say it's more his fault. But based on what I've seen, my position, the most extreme thing I've seen is the gun.
It's not a matter of
irregardless. Go ahead.
It's not a matter of fault. There's no fault.
All I'm simply saying is no. I'm not saying fault. All I'm simply saying is the most extreme thing I've seen between the two is that, and that's on her part. Now, it can be argued that why she did it, but irrespective if she of that situation, they still did it. You know, so
there's no.
It is.
See, here's the thing. They both did things.
Yeah.
That were unforgivable. They both did things that were indisputable. They both did.
What did he did where it's unforgivable?
Where he broke into her apartment.
For me, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's not enough context behind that. You know, I would need to hear more on that. I hear what you're saying, and that is something I have to give consideration, but I still need to hear more of the context of that, because it could be a situation where he actually had a key, and you know, maybe he went there. The key was on. I don't know.
We're gonna stick with the facts.
Yeah, but we don't know.
The facts are she knows that he didn't have a key. She didn't give him a key,
and that's her story.
You going by his story. If you going by his story, we taking both of their stories as truth. we taking both of their stories as truth. If we take both of their stories as truth, he broke into her apartment.
Okay, my thing too is she stabbed the brother in the hand. Now, what's going on with that? HQ? Stabbed the brother. Yeah,
How?
He came out and said that he was stabbed in the hand.
Okay,
and he submitted some injuries.
Yeah.
About that, some pictures of the injuries or whatever. Well, now he's come out and said that. So this girl
and she came out and said he chipped her tooth, and he bruised her on the arm.
She got? I didn't see any photos of it though.
He can't prove that she did that. She can't prove that he did that. So I dismissed.
She stabbed the man with a knife.
We don't know
how
that.
Did he chip her too? Did he hit her with the old school 1-2? He hit her with the old school 1-2.
We don't know that.
What you mean you don't know that? She stabbed you and he submitted photos. He made it up.
He submitted photo of a stab. He submitted photo of a finger.
Yeah, but we taking his word at face value, HQ.
Right, right. My point exactly. My point exactly.
So we're gonna take his word.
Okay, we're gonna take his word. So now we're gonna we're gonna take her word that he hit her head in the dashboard. Okay. We're gonna take her word. If we got to take his word, then we got to take her word. Because we weren't there, so we don't know.
Right.
Okay,
but
so
see,
therefore,
was that dashboard hit after the stab or what though?
So therefore, if we got to take her word for her getting her face slammed, and we got to take his word for getting stabbed, they both is a wash.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this:
fitting them two things.
I think that chip tooth was already chipped.
We don't know that.
That's cracking them Cavassier bottles open. You know,
we don't know that. That's what I'm saying. Y'all had to get past. Just because he showed you a cut, don't mean it's true. Just because she showed us a chip tooth, don't mean that's true.
We taking the word at face value, though.
It's a wash.
Those are your words, HQ.
It's a wash. They both could be lying.
What is it then? Is it we taking the words or is it we taking it at face value? Come on, man. What are we doing here?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not listening to
what are we doing here, HQ?
Cause you're not listening.
What are we doing here, man?
You gaslighting now. Now you gaslighting.
I'm gaslighting. No. I'm way too handsome of a guy to be gaslighting.
How do you know that she stabbed him?
HQ. The man said the girl stabbed him and he submitted photos. Okay. What else do you want the guy to do?
Okay. She said he slammed her face into the steering wheel. What else do you want her to do?
Hey, if that's what if she said it, hey, let's see. You know, I'm not saying it didn't happen.
If he stabbed him, let's see.
Wait a minute. Let me say this. For the record, I never said he did not do it. Now, I know for doggone sure, I'm not a proponent for putting hands on a woman, but me getting stuck with a knife is gonna make me do some extreme things. Okay? For real. Now, I ain't gonna get specific, but if people better keep their knives to themselves. All right?
You just said he submitted a photo of a cut hand.
Yes. Yes.
She submitted a photo of a chipped tooth and bruises.
Okay. Now, what happened first?
So, seeing as how... hold on. Seeing as how he could be lying and she could be lying, it's a wash. You can't believe either one of them.
I thought you said take the word at face value earlier.
If we're going point by point, Triple.
Okay.
If we go point by point, he submitted a cut finger. She submitted a chipped tooth. If you can't believe her and I can't believe him, it's a wash.
Do you believe her?
Do I believe her?
Yeah.
No, I don't know her enough to know whether she lies or not. I have no idea. And I don't know him well enough to know whether
I know one thing she didn't, what ain't been lied about, and that's that gun. So that's the only thing that ain't a wash.
Of course, that's
right. Yeah.
I'm saying he submitted that evidence. I said I believe everything that they say. I believe everything they say.
Okay, so
I believe him and I believe her.
Okay.
I believe her. I believe if you say he did that, he did that. If he says she cut my finger, I believe that.
Oh, okay then.
I believe all of that. If you say it's true, but it doesn't change the fact that she submitted the evidence first, so she got into court first.
Here's the reality, because look, I'm gonna tell you a lot, and I'm not giving him a pass. And more men are gonna have to start dealing differently, but we gotta understand HQ, especially this particular guy. He's in the entertainment field. He's trying to get into the rap game. He's a streamer. it's a such thing as credibility. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this guy, I understand what he's going through. He's probably trying to handle it or whatever, but you know, you don't really want that reputation of just running to the cops for everything. You know what I'm saying? Especially over some girl like this. Now, again, I'm not saying it was the right move. I'm not backing him on this, HQ. Mm-hmm. And if anything, he should have got ahead of these things. You know, first of all, you don't have no baby.
Exactly, which is what I said, but he didn't.
You don't have no baby by no woman that's this unstable in the first doggone place. You know, that's a no-no. Because I done dated some young, cute chicks like that, and then they bouncing off the wall like Michael Jackson first CD. They got, hey, that ain't nothing I'm taking serious. You know, that's just me. You know, I know he don't have my experience and stuff like that. Right. So, you know, and when I was his age, that would have been hard for me to navigate too. But I think I was probably past him on the maturity and experience at his age, though. Because I ran into that stuff. I always been dated strong, and I was able to outmaneuver a lot of that crazy stuff.
Right. I mean,
but that's me.
He did what he did. He brought this. I say this situation is a situation of his making. He brought this situation. You gave the wrong woman your seed. That's your fault. You chose wrong.
How you know she didn't choose wrong? How you know she didn't choose
DDG? So DDG, she chose DDG wrong. She could have.
Right. We don't know.
But my whole point is, the men in the audience are saying, "Oh, she crazy. She this, that, and no." Then if she crazy, then it's your fault because you gave her your seed.
Well, I want to say this. I'm gonna say this. And Project Leroy make a great point. Submit evidence first doesn't necessarily make you right, and he's right about that.
Absolutely
not. He's right about that. But I'm just saying, like, if you do have quality evidence and it's really real, you know, if you can get ahead of the game on things like that, is where I'm going with it. But yeah, Project is definitely right.
He did.
But yeah, he has a streamer audience. Project. He don't have like a real rap audience like that, but he is somebody in the streamer space. Like he ain't big as Kai Cenat or nothing like that. Right. But he's an actor in that for sure. So I can't downplay him.
See, he had all the time in the world to submit this information, but he didn't. Why didn't he?
I kind of touched on that though, HQ.
If he's concerned, if he was so concerned about her and a gun, why didn't he get custody right then? Why did he wait?
We all handle things differently. What I would have done in that situation versus DDG, and especially I'm quite a bit older than him too, is two different things. But even if I had been his age, I still would have been like, something extreme has to happen after that. Like once somebody has proven, show me something like that, I have to really start moving differently. You know, once a gun been produced.
But he didn't.
Hey,
did he?
Yeah. And I've expressed reasons why.
Right.
You know, as to why maybe he didn't. But it's a slippery slope, HQ. We don't know all of the details either.
Yeah, but we do know that he didn't come forward if he was concerned about how unstable she was, and she's such a cuckoo, like the people in the chat that she a cuckoo because
that girl got more issues than Sports Illustrated.
Well, we don't know.
She got a lot of issues now.
We don't know that.
We do know that.
No,
she grabbed that damn gun.
Just because there's plenty of people that grab the gun, that don't mean they crazy.
Yeah, HQ. You don't play around with no gun. Maybe you didn't hear what I said earlier, but HQ, you having a talk with a man here, and I'm telling you what it is. I done had many disagreements with women. You don't grab no damn gun. All right. Once you grab that gun, your situation with Lex is over. Okay. We ain't playing like that. And I ain't never grabbed no gun on no chick.
Yes, but
I don't play like that. I done got a lot of arguments with family, guys I mess with and everything. I ain't never grabbed no damn gun.
Yeah,
that's too far.
it's up to the judge to decipher whether that was her state of mind at that time, or is that her state of mind now?
That's her permanent state of mind.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people out there gonna say that. I'm gonna stick.
How about that?
I'm gonna err on the side of what the professional psychiatrist and the judge say.
She got them crazy eyes too.
Professional psychiatrist and the judge say this was because of this. Then we gonna err on the side of what the judge say. Because I ain't no professional. Because I can't say. Only thing I can have is an opinion. My opinion is that happened a year and a half ago. Not trying to downplay the seriousness of it, but if it was so serious, why didn't DDG come bring it up? He never brought it up until he wanted to put a block on me. Until he wanted to put a block on some.
Well, you gotta understand. Like the thing is too, and one thing you gotta understand. You're looking at it from one perspective, and I get that perspective. But you got to understand this too. And again, I can't speak directly for him because how he handles something will be different from how I handle it. Right. But he may not have taken it as serious as I wanted. And he may be at least seeing himself at that time as possibly working this thing out, trying to keep his family together. So he didn't want to take it to that and blow the situation up. Maybe they reconcile real quick after that or whatever. But again, that's too much of an extreme.
So he didn't take it. He didn't take it as
I
serious
said maybe,
as he was supposed to.
Maybe. I don't know for a fact. Possibly.
He didn't take it as serious as he was supposed to. We never heard nothing about. We didn't hear nothing about none of this until he decided he was gonna file something on Friday. Wait a minute, she's a detriment to my child. And then the judge looked at him and looked at that paperwork and said, but sir, this happened a year and a half ago. Why haven't we heard anything about this before? Why didn't we hear when she filed?
But here's the thing, just because he didn't submit it immediately, it still don't make it any less wrong. So
no, nobody said it was wrong.
Okay. Let's not downplay this now either.
No, ain't nobody saying that's wrong. Y'all keep bringing it up like it's the
because it's a big deal. It is a big deal.
Wait, hold on. You keep bringing it up as though it's the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. The most important thing is what has occurred. What has occurred in relation to what?
No, I disagree. And you know what
has occurred? I'm just gonna tell you how the judge is gonna look at it.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now why it's the most important thing. Because if somebody walk in that room with you right now, you cool with, and y'all having a disagreement lightly, and they pull a gun on you at that moment in time, that's gonna be the most.
Gun on nobody. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
She didn't put no gun on nobody.
Hold on. If they go out and get a gun, wait, HQ. Let me flush out the situation. Okay? If you having a disagreement with something or somebody and they run outside to their car and a gun is produced, not saying they pulled it on you or they went back in the house on you or whatever, but they just standing out there with that gun, at that moment, that is going to be the most important thing because you're going to be like, you're trying to figure out a way to get out of that situation. So it ain't going to be nothing more important in that situation right there because life is on the line. So let's not play that game.
So life is on the line a year and a half ago.
If she's in possession of a firearm she shouldn't have.
Yeah, and you got help for that on the line. You got help for that position. You got help for that mental state. You didn't get no help for that mental state and you just did it. Hey. I would consider that a very serious and it happened last week, we would have a problem.
Because I would say
but it happened a year and a half ago and she recognized that she needed help. There's a big difference between not recognizing that you need help and
what you need help for.
So now we're gonna dismiss the postpartum depression. We dismissing that?
Man, you know what? That was a terrible move, putting a kid life in danger like that. That's wild, man.
Absolutely.
She's wild, man.
Absolutely.
She's a terrible girl.
Yes. That doesn't make her a terrible girl.
You damn right.
That just means she was mentally having issues at that time. And if you read the text messages, because I read them, I need your help. I need you to help me. But boy, I ain't finna deal with this. I ain't finna say nothing. I ain't finna help you. You need to figure some shit out. Ain't that what he said in the text messages? You need to figure some shit out. You need to get you some help.
So HQ, two things.
She's unfit, man. She's unfit mother.
HQ,
go ahead, Jay.
That ain't how that's gonna go. That's all I'm telling you.
I got two things. It's gonna be real quick. It's just a couple sentences. It's gonna be real quick. You're gonna love it. Sorry, I can't help it. I got to do that every time.
Get him, Jay.
Can somebody have mental health issues and still be in the wrong?
Yes.
Okay. And the second thing, is he required to be a mental health practitioner to deal with her issues?
No.
Okay.
But I'm sure y'all read the text messages, and did she ask him for help? I read.
Yeah, but she didn't say, "Can you come help me move this couch?"
No, she said, "I'm having trouble dealing with being a mother. Can you help me?"
He's not the person to call for that. He's not a mental health professional.
Yes, but the text messages are going to say, "I reached out to him, and he wouldn't help me." And
he's not a mental health professional. He don't know what to do. Right. Call somebody else, girl. I don't know what to do.
Exactly. That's what she did.
That's what that's what she should have did in the first place. So it's inconsequential if she called him and said it to him. I don't know what to do. It's like HQ. My hemorrhoids is flaring up. What you gonna do, HQ? I don't know. Call the doctor.
The text messages go to how much you concerned about that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with it.
That's exactly what the judge is going to look at.
No, it's not.
Okay, sir, were you concerned about her mental health a year and a half ago? Why didn't we have any of these?
I was concerned about it. That's why I said I want my son.
So why didn't you say that a year and a half ago when she pulled the gun?
Maybe he did. Maybe just because there's not proof via text messages doesn't mean he didn't say it to her.
She didn't come over. She didn't pull those text messages.
You know, people communicate in other ways other than text messages, right? I got
it. So I'm saying,
and I could have a blowout. You and I could have a blowout via text message, and then I say, "Hey, you know what, HQ? I'm coming over there to talk to you right now." And I come to the house, and in half hour, 45 minutes later, we crying, giving each other hugs, saying we sorry.
Wait a minute. What question? What question do you got for me? What question? I dodged what question? What question did I dodge? I answered the two questions he asked me. What questions are we talking about?
She filled it in with a whole bunch of other stuff. She answered it, but then she went off to say, it's like saying, yeah, apple pie is made of apples, but you can make it out of peaches.
I don't understand. Well, people don't understand, but that's not how the court is going to work. She was the first one to file. She was the first one to file to say you abused me. Okay, I'll take her at her word. He abused me. I'll take him at his word.
But so is it the first one to file, or is it the facts?
She the first one to file because they take those as facts.
That's how the court system works. Okay, it's good to know our court system doesn't rely on facts. It's just whoever can get to the filing first, and that's honestly the truth. I'm not saying that about you. That's about whoever snitched first. Right. Hey, you get the plea.
Right, I believe
that's something that's wrong with our court system.
Right. I believe
she filed first, so it looks like you're more guilty than she is. Wait a second, but she's not telling the truth,
right,
or the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's what the law says,
right. Right, but I believe
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I mean, because he has his version.
So help you, Godzilla, and then people say and they be lying.
So the whole
there's no consequence to lying.
She has her version. He has his version,
and the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Both of y'all, from both points of view. I believe you both. But that's not for me to decide whether this stuff is right or wrong. It's for the courts to decide, and I'm sure that they're experts at doing that. She has a therapist that she's had for the past year, so the therapist can explain to the court. She came to me and said, X, Y,
wait a second. How you know that? How you know she had a therapist that she's had for the last year?
She said in the documents that she's been in therapy.
So she said it, but you don't know that. So she said she has a therapist for the
We're
last year.
taking them at their
No,
word.
we're not. No, we're not. Because you don't do
Okay,
that when the
then
men
we can't
HQ, you be
take
biased.
nothing that DDG say.
HQ, you already don't. You already
I
don't.
believe
HQ.
both of them. I
No,
said
you
both of them
don't.
is telling the truth.
You don't listen to yourself, HQ. When you be saying stuff, if we say, "Oh, DDG this," you be like, "No, but her, but she." It's like,
No,
well,
that's not what
are
I
you
said.
from the
I
middle
said
of the
it from
argument,
the
or are you
beginning.
arguing from her perspective?
I said it from the beginning. They both could be telling the truth, but the whole point is, I'm not the person that has to make that determination.
Well, a logical
going by
person would
what
say they
you
both
said
not
is
telling the truth. They're both telling some truth. They're both telling some stuff the way they see it. Like when somebody tells a lie for so many times, like I got shot in the foot, this person shot me in the foot. When somebody tells a lie so many times, it becomes true to them. And then now they be screaming it like it actually happened. And then when evidence comes out, come to find out, that's not what happened. But
Well,
I guarantee there's some people you could put on a lie detector test to ask them those questions, and it'll still come up no falsehoods or no deception.
I mean,
because they believe it. But it's not the truth.
This relationship is not that serious or that long where we had to figure out this X, Y, and Z. Both of them came with a sob story. Both of them came with whatever they came with. She came first.
Yeah, Jay Walker, because that's what women tend to do. HQ, that's what women tend to do is come out first with allegations.
And that's your problem. You didn't come out there first.
If something is a trend and women tend to do it first, are you really going to look in, like really weigh that as much as you should? No, it shouldn't be weighed as much because women tend to come out first. Oh, he was every dude is abusive. He was this abusive. He was verbally abusive. He was physically abusive. All the guys. So he was only became physically abusive at the end of the relationship. I don't think that's how that works. Guys are either abusive or they're not, man.
Right. So you should know from the beginning. You should know.
I saw a video the other day. I was on my phone watching it though, and I wanted to save it and send it to you. It was instances caught on when couples are recording themselves where the girlfriend hits the boyfriend in like the face, and it was like multiple couples, and the dude's like, "What are you hitting me?" Like, I'm talking about like hit him. Like this one dude's a huskier dude, little Latina chick or light skinned girl. I don't know what she was. They's talking. He didn't even say nothing disrespectful or nothing. She just didn't like what he said. She bow right in the face. He like, yo, what? And he's like, he was trying to explain, like, I ain't even. She bow right in the face.
I'm pretty sure that happens a lot.
On a live.
I'm pretty sure that happens.
No, that type of stuff happened. I bet you she ain't in jail. I bet you no charges was filed against her, and he don't even need to file charges because it was witnessed. She popped him. I'm called about the first time in the nose, the second time in the mouth. And I saw another girl punch dude. Like what the heck is going on? But that stuff happens. So it's not about who comes out first with it, because women.
It definitely is when you file a restraining order. It definitely matters who comes out first and says what. It definitely does matter.
Yeah, but then when the truth comes, like PL said, when Amber Heard came out first saying, Johnny, what's his name? God, dog. When he was abusive, he was beating her, he was doing all this manipulative stuff, and then you come to find out she's the one doing all this stuff. Crazy stuff.
I thought
Johnny Depp. Thank you. God, dog.
I thought she was trying to sue him for money. Was she trying to sue him?
Yeah, she was trying to get it. Yeah, she was trying to get it. She's trying to get everything.
Because when they got a divorce, he only gave her $10 million, and she came back trying to sue for more.
Defame that man's name, and she was over there beating on him, and he was recording stuff.
Right.
Boo-booing in this dude's bed.
Right.
Locking herself in the closet, throwing herself in the stuff, saying he's beating her while he's outside the room, saying they're not gonna believe you, and she cursing them to hell. Like that stuff happens too, man. Women are very emotional when it comes to that stuff. So why would we err on the side of HQ? My question is, why would we err on the side of the person that comes first and not the truth and the facts? Say, okay, we understand what you're coming to us with. Now, what evidence do you have to substantiate your claims? We're not saying that it's not true. We just need evidence. What evidence do you have? Do you have everything? Right. Don't give us some text messages where he's going crazy and you not. Give us all of it.
Right.
And that's why I said they both probably lying, and they both probably telling some of the truth.
Point is the first person that gets there, the judge has to err on the side of caution. Why?
That's not the side of caution. Is the first person. That's not the side of caution.
Yes,
You're still not getting it. No, it's not.
Violence. It is if she claims violence.
Do y'all know what I mean, y'all? In the chat, is HQ? Where HQ? Where the lamp? Hold on. Is this real HQ? Is this the real HQ? Where the lamp at? This is not the right.
Can I finish? Potential consequences of inaction is the reason why you have to err on the side of caution. They can be extremely serious, including injury or death. That's why you err on the side of caution. When I walk into the courtroom and I say he been beating on me and the kid, the judge automatically puts a restraining order if I got proof or fake proof or whatever, because he's erring on the side.
And that's on the err on the side of caution. And then what happens?
Then they have
that's for immediate protection. Right. And then when you go to the hearing, what does she need to substantiate her claims?
She's going to pull up. She's going to
hospital reports, police reports, phone calls, text messages, video, picture evidence, all of it. Right.
Which is what
when somebody's just coming and when somebody comes forward and it's just two people arguing about stuff, that don't mean nothing. You can argue. People say all kinds of egregious stuff to each other.
The only thing he has is what he filed. Okay. He filed whatever he filed. Maybe he got more stuff. She answered that. That entry that he did.
Kombucha.
She said, I have my therapist. My therapist that I've been going to for the past X, Y, and Z understands everything.
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Nobody care about no dang therapist. Therapists don't do nothing but take your money, man. There's very few people that actually get help. Do you talk to people that got therapists and see how messed up they still be? Have you ever talked to a therapist and see how messed up they are? I just saw a brother on the thing talk about he was dating a therapist, how crazy she was. Yeah, therapists don't mean nothing.
I'm saying the judge is going to take in
a lot of ways. It's a big hustle.
He's going to take into what the therapist says. It will be what it is. He's going to have to come up with other evidence. Mr. DDG. Okay, fine. Let's take your threat seriously too. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's take your threat seriously, sir. Have you been to parenting classes? Have you been to anger management classes?
Why he got to go to parenting classes?
Because neither one of them know how to take care of a kid.
A lot of people don't know how to go to that. Your court can't order you to be a better parent.
This is family.
That's unfortunate, but the court can't order you to be a better parent. In that case, everybody need to go to parenting.
Family parenting classes. They can.
I need to go to parenting classes. Everybody need to go to parenting classes.
They can tell you to do that. You're asking for custody, sir. You're asking for custody. We don't have proof that you can take care of a kid.
Why not? What's the proof he can't?
You were on film 5 days ago into a big brawl, sir. You haven't proved.
What does that have to do with him taking care of his kid?
I'm just telling you what the judge is going to look at.
Things. I'm asking you, HQ, what does that have to do with him taking care of his kid? Because he got in a fight the other day?
Yes,
that doesn't mean nothing.
You're telling me I'm unfit, but you on camera having a big brawl.
Did he have the kid with him? Did he have the kid with him?
That has nothing to do with it.
Nothing? Nothing. It has nothing to do with it.
Not having a kid, it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, so Bum Quisha could be in Walmart with a kid in her arm.
She's already came with definitive proof. She's already came with that.
I don't know. This is my first time hearing about a fight, but
on May 30th, him and his brother had a fight, or they were in a fight, or they were about to have a fight, or whatever. I don't know. The judge is gonna be like, sir, what would have happened if you'd had
that? Has nothing to do with this case. That has nothing to do with this case. I
am just telling you how it's going to proceed by the judge.
No, it's not. Because in the other hand, when we talk about Diddy and Cassie, you say that ain't got nothing to do with what Cassie is. Diddy's on trial, right? So that has nothing to do with it, right? So him fighting out somewhere else has nothing to do with this case. It is the same thing.
This is family court.
It's the apples and oranges.
This is family court.
It's apples and oranges. That has nothing to do with this case.
It has to do with whether
nothing to do with family court. Him fighting his brother, even that's his family. It has nothing to do with him and his kid.
I work with these people. I know exactly what they're going to say. I know what the judge is going to say. I actually talked to a judge. I know what they're going to say.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I didn't.
Stop the cap.
I didn't.
You didn't talk to no judge about this.
Yes, I have. I'm a arbiter of a drug court. Yes, I have. Spoke to a judge.
That's a drug court. That's not a family court.
Sat down next to the judge. Talked to the judge about family. Talk to the judge about, have you talked to their family, Miss Hall? Have you talked to their family? Have you decided how they're going to proceed? Of course.
Oh man. Do you know I was married to a defense attorney and a family court lawyer? I've seen a lot of family court and heard a lot of family court stories directly from her from the inside. This has nothing to do with. No, it does not. No, it does not.
You want custody, and you out there you want custody, and you're out there fighting on camera, but you want custody, and you think that has nothing to do with custody.
So when a woman is on IG or somewhere on a boat somewhere twerking and stuff and pouring alcohol over her body or another girl's body, does that mean she shouldn't be a mom too?
If she's in the middle of a court case, then no, she should.
Oh, it only matters when you're in the middle of a court case.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. It only matters when you're fighting for custody. That's what it means. I don't understand how y'all don't understand that.
Because it has nothing to do with this case. It has nothing to do with this case.
Everything to do with this case.
No, it doesn't have everything to do with it.
It goes to character. Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Okay. I'm just saying. I know that's how it's going to go. I know they're going to ask.
Where's Team Peterson at, man?
What are you doing? What are you doing on camera? What are you doing on camera fighting, sir? And you're supposed to be a role model for your son. What are you doing getting beat?
He didn't fight anybody. His brother did.
Right.
Yeah, HQ can't substantiate that. I haven't seen nothing about him fighting, so I can't know. I'm just talking.
He didn't fight nobody. His brother did. Why was he there?
Because he's with his brother.
Yeah. Why would
you can't be with your? He can't be with your brother. My brother got into a fight. I was there.
Now it don't. Now it's the brother. Now it matters because it's just the brother. It wasn't him. And his
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know.
And his brother egging it on. It wasn't him and his brother in the whole thing. No, I'm not making up anything. Project Leroy. I don't believe a thing you say. You know why I don't believe a thing you say? Because you didn't believe that the passport bros go down to the ER for doing the sex things.
The passport bros go to the ER.
You don't know, Project Leroy. So I don't believe the things you say because you don't know what you're talking about. Especially when you tell me that doesn't happen when I know for a fact it happens.
HQ, you so funny, HQ.
Y'all wild. Y'all wild. Y'all just, what?
Oh, man, I think I gave myself heat stroke yesterday, y'all.
Y'all wild. Y'all better watch that court case. I guarantee you it's going to go the way I say it's going to go.
The HQ trying to give me another headache.
The first person
it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, Devil.
First person that goes down there, it's gonna work that way. That's what I'm telling you. It's gonna work that way. Because you can't
be gone.
He can't prove that he didn't do it. That's the problem. He can't prove that he didn't do it.
No, that's not how the court system works. You have to prove that you did it.
She gave evidence.
Did she prove that he did it?
He can't disprove the evidence. That's what I'm saying. He can't disprove it. So therefore, they're going to take her word. They're going to side on the air. They're going to err on the side of caution because he can't. No, Your Honor, I didn't do that. Here's the proof that I didn't do that. No, he don't have no proof that he didn't do.
You don't have to. You have to prove that somebody did something. You don't have to prove that they didn't do it.
Then why did they give her a restraining order, Jay?
Because you can get a restraining order.
Yes, you got to show some kind of proof.
No, you can get a temporary restraining order until your court date. You can. It doesn't just like when somebody settles outside of court. It's not an admission of guilt. HQ. It just means you don't want to be wrapped up in a court case. It don't mean you did it.
He just cleared everything with the messages. No, he didn't clear anything with the messages. Messages were a year and a half ago.
Get you some of this kombucha, Jay Walker.
Stop it. Because she filed first. She filed first. Now you got to come and you got to prove that you didn't do what she said you did. Now, it is what it is.
Because she filed first.
Yeah. She filed.
I'm about to file a court case on you. What county are you in Illinois? I'm about to file a court case.
Will.
Will County, I'm coming for you. Just wait till I get back to the States.
All I'm telling you is it is how the court works. It is what it is.
Heathen Queen? Yeah, that's me. You've been served.
What? Yeah, this is insane and sad. Everybody is a lawyer. Everybody knows. I'm not
a lawyer. I just know you have to prove somebody's guilty.
Yeah, you got to prove that you didn't do it.
You don't have to prove you're innocent. You have to prove you're not guilty.
My point is,
people have gotten off because they couldn't prove they did it, even though the person was guilty.
Hold on.
They couldn't prove the guilt.
How does he prove that he didn't abuse her? How does he prove it?
She has to prove he did abuse her. That's the thing.
He presented evidence. So how does
what evidence? I asked already. What evidence?
She's the one who presented her chip. She's the one who presented the bruises on her arm. She's the one who told his family the minute she got out of the car that he had bruised me. These are the bruises he gave me. This is what he did to me while I was in the car. She did that. So
did he have attack wounds as well?
I don't know. Why didn't he?
No, not defensive wounds. Did he have was his knuckles messed up? Did they take pictures of him as well too?
I don't know.
I'm not saying that this happened.
I haven't seen any pictures of that. The only thing I see.
Do you know that people do inflict pain or damage on themselves to get other people in trouble? That's why it's a hard thing to prove.
He has to disprove that he didn't do it. They are erring on the side of caution and saying, we don't know whether it's true or it's not. We don't know whether it's true or not, but we're going to take your word for it because anything can happen. That's how they think.
Man, so check this out. This is a little personal story. So this was, I don't know how long ago this was. This is the ex I had. I was dating her for a year. She's a Chinese girl. And she disappeared on me for like a week. So I'm like, yo, what? And this is back in the day before, like, big Apple phones and all this stuff. I had a flip phone and, calling, texting, like, what's going on? Like, this is a year in, right? Had a deployment during that time. So we were away for 6 months, but still a year together. And then she shows up one random day, knock at the door. I go into the door. And she's dressed out of character for her because she used to always wear like sundresses and stuff like that. Today she's got on some short white like booty shorts.
Right.
Thick Chinese girl, y'all. Hey brothers, yeah, yams. But anyhow, I gotta say it. Anyhow, I look at her thighs and she's like really fair skinned, and she had bruises all on her thighs. And I'm like, yo, what? Like I'm thinking she got to an accident or something, and my head is just going. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's no big deal." Mm-hmm. She's like, "I just do this from I've done this before. I just do this sometimes." It had been that long since I didn't even know that she had some kind of mental imbalance or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she says, "Oh, you just push on the bruises and they'll go away eventually." She was like, "I feel like going out. Let's go to the mall." I'm like, hold on, sit down. I'm not going out in public with you with bruises all over your legs. Mind you, HQ, these was self-inflicted bruises on her legs. Mm-hmm. So say I was a dummy. I'm in my early 20s. Say I was a dummy. And I'm like, okay, babe, let's go. I missed you. Yada, yada, yada. Wow, let's go to the mall. And I'm out in public. What if she, while I'm holding her or something like that, starts screaming and pulling away from me? What do I do?
Exactly.
There's nobody on this planet that's gonna believe me.
Right.
I had to end it right there. After I sat it out, I said, I can't. I'm thinking in my mind, there's no way I could have this type of person raising a kid of mine. I was like, I have to end it. Get that frog in your throat. I was like, I gotta end this. I gotta end this like immediately.
Smart man. Yeah,
She did that to herself.
Yeah, too much.
All up and down her legs. Bruises.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's Jay. It's too much of an extreme. Just like grabbing a gun. Y'all had a disagreement or whatever, and then she done ran out and grabbed her gun out of her car and looking in the house at you. That's too much of an extreme. The relationship's over.
She did that?
Right.
No, Hallie did that?
How did she did? how the chick did. I'm just saying it's too much of an extreme.
Right.
Just like
HQ
the
don't
group
care.
thing.
HQ don't care, Mr. Walker. She like, yeah, okay, Jay. All right.
She like,
So
whatever.
one little
You get in
anecdotal
there and wrestle
Boy,
that.
I'm listening.
personal story, Jay. So much for you opening up and expressing the actual anecdotal story to us, Jay. We don't care.
I was just picturing. I was picturing it. I was like, I've never ran into a person that would self-harm themselves, and I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do.
When I don't really see this much in men, HQ, but you never saw a girl with cuts on her arms,
Never.
slices.
I've seen a lot of girls like that
all the time. I've seen girls on the ship like that before.
Yeah. You know the old saying though.
It would creep me out if I saw that. I've never seen.
No, and you be talking to them and they be like, "Oh, they're so sweet." And then one day you see them with their sleeve rolled up or something. You be like, "Oh, okay, they went through something."
Yeah,
they self-harmed.
Right.
When they go
sometimes,
crazy, go ahead, Jay.
No, you got it, Lex.
I was gonna say, when they go crazy, women hurt themselves. When men go crazy, they hurt others. Yeah,
and they want to that's in that they're gonna hurt themselves to hurt you. Because that's an expression. I need to get this pain out, but if other people see it, then it's gonna affect you as well. And it's also going to be like, no, it's both, Chef. I'm talking about black, white, Latina, Asian. I've seen just all across the board. It's not not non-black girls. Yeah, I've seen it, and I've seen girls cut themselves down like by they like hidden areas, like when they inner thigh and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can't see it. You
can't see it. Yeah, man, it's stuff.
So hold on, a wire.
Yeah, man, that stuff happens all the time. So to think a woman is not going to beat herself to hurt somebody, and I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying though, when we're the evidence is brought to them, it's their job. The burden of truth is on them to prove it, not to disprove it. It has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the way the court system is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it would take a real devious, meticulous dude to like a Diddy, a very powerful person, to do something like that and to be able to continuously get away with it. That girl's got to be the Stockholm has to be in there. She got to be like mentally corrupted before a guy can do that to her and allow that. Because I've had people in my family who a guy put their hands on them once, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Right.
We done. Ain't no more stuff like that.
Yeah, going back and
people,
forth.
Yeah, some people deal with it.
Yeah.
And some people like that. They think it's if you don't get all angry or grab me or shake me or something like that, then you don't love me. And so it's a whole bunch of different dynamics in that, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's a lot, man.
It's crazy. There's so many dynamics, man. I was up here trying to tell her. I'm like, but I was trying to tell her, as men, we all have what our limitations are, and like you say, the bruising for you, especially relatively early on, even though you had a little time in with her, for you, that's a deal breaker because you knew the risks of dealing with that and continuing to play with that. Like you say, do you want this to be your wife and your kid's mom and she beating her damn self up?
Yeah, I go on deployment and then I get a call like, "No, man, hey, we got some bad news." Like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah,
she went to go get a fire extinguisher.
Oh, okay. Well, that gas light now.
Welcome to the Triple X and Jay Tillman podcast.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't never even talk about this topic unless I'm on this live. It's irrelevant to me. I just need HQ to stop saying that she's not biased and just go ahead and say, "Yeah, I'm biased."
Own it. Just own it.
Just own it.
I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what the something happened to the damn mouse, and then I was plugging the mouse in because the mouse started dying, and it's just crazy. And I was like, "Wait a minute, where the hell everybody go? What the hell?" I didn't know I could get out of the studio and come back in. Hey,
we took over.
Learn something new every day. No,
I was
I'm
getting
not.
super chat sent to
I'm
me.
not prejudiced or anything against one or the other. I didn't know the story on Friday. I didn't know none of the story. When he presented, when I looked at the case and I looked at what he presented, I was like, okay, let's look at this logically. How is the judge going to look at this? How is the judge going to look at this? Judge is going to say, okay, you were suicidal.
Not every judge will look at it like that, though, HQ. It's not an absolute.
Yeah, but he's going to look at it like she was suicidal, though, right?
My thing, this chick had a lot of red flags. DDG should have pulled out literally and figuratively.
Yeah, but why did she have a lot of red flags? What red flags other than her doing that?
Grabbing a damn gun and what are we talking about? Beating her ass, beating herself up and presenting it? Like a whole lot of shit she did that's crazy.
Wait a minute, she beat her up. She beat herself up and presented it to the what?
No. I'm just saying she has shown herself to do a lot of stuff I've seen in the media. No, I'm gonna tell you.
I'm saying to you, what did she present that said that she was crazy?
What was the gun thing? I don't know the gun thing.
Other than the gun.
I'm going to tell you. Okay. One thing she did that was she should not have. If she had questions about this, she should have talked to him one-on-one. You know he's a streamer, just like Michael Jordan's a basketball player. Right. If he decides to take his son to the game or have him courtside or whatever, that he took his son on stream. It's his son. She made a big ass thing about that on social media about him having the boy up there talking about that's my son.
No, she did.
I didn't. Yes, she did.
She did one text message. No. Text message. One.
No, it was not text. She went on social media and blasted that.
It was on social media. I saw that.
Yep. Yeah, she did that.
She got on camera and she said, "You need to bring my kid home." Is that what she said?
It was on X, I think.
No. She went on Twitter and made a big thing about it, and it hit the blogs and on YouTube and stuff.
I saw one. I saw one tweet. Then I saw another tweet where she turned. I saw one tweet where she said, "You shouldn't have my child. He shouldn't have my child and do X, Y, and Z." And then
that's a tweet.
One,
that's social media. HQ.
So there's one. Then the second one.
It only has to be one because why did she go to social media?
Right.
You shouldn't even
do that.
But that don't mean she went on that one.
She said that because she's looking for her fan base to go and attack him for it.
What women are crazy?
She went on there one time and said, "You shouldn't have my child on there." Then she went back on there and said, "I apologize because I made a big mistake and I've made a big deal out of nothing. Please continue." I saw two tweets. Now, what other big deal did she make? Because I didn't see that. Okay. I saw two.
HQ. Do we really need to do this? Like, for real.
What was the gun thing? I'm not familiar with the gun thing. What's the gun? What did she do? She went out to go get a.
No, he had a gun, and she grabbed the gun, and she ran outside with the gun. She was
pregnant.
I don't know what she was pregnant. She had the baby. I don't know what
she was pregnant.
Yeah, and then she went outside, and she was distraught. I guess she was upset. Told him that I didn't feel like living. I don't want to live. I don't want to live.
You said that's postpartum, HQ?
I don't know whether it was postpartum or before.
I
don't know.
Right?
Yes, I do. I don't know.
Right.
No, what she said was she was suffering from postpartum depression. That's what she said.
How? She didn't have the baby yet.
We don't know. I don't know whether she had the baby or not.
No, literally, the definition is not that. That just means she was acting stupid. We don't know whether she was pregnant. And irrational.
We don't know whether she was pregnant or not. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Triple X just said it. How come you're not taking Triple X at what he said?
Because I didn't look.
I thought you was taking Halle Bailey at what she said. How come you can't do that?
I'm taking DDG at what he said too. So
okay, so she was pregnant.
Was she pregnant? Or she wasn't pregnant. Was she pregnant? Or wasn't she pregnant? Which one?
But my whole thing is HQ. If you put yourself in the shoes of this, say this is your family members, right, and it's your son and his girl,
right?
And she does this. She snatches his firearm, right, and she goes out there and starts threatening herself, whether she's pregnant or not. What would you say to him? Oh, you just need to understand that she's going through a difficult time right now.
Right.
Like, oh boy,
if I was his family member, I'd be like, she needs to get help, and you need to get her help right now.
And you need to get away from her too, right?
You need to you can't help her. You can't help her.
That's what I said when I first came on.
You can get her help.
That's what I said when I
But
first
you can
came
get her
on.
help. But you
Oh,
can get her
Jay,
help.
man, what is this? What is this,
wild.
man? Like,
Y'all
oh,
wild.
man.
I swear, y'all
No,
wild.
HQ, we can get
Y'all
her help.
wild.
HQ, we can get her help. We still got to get
Y'all,
away
y'all
though.
wild.
We got to get away from her.
He can't help her though. He can't help her.
He can't help her. Man, this is crazy.
Y'all wild.
You know what, Jay? She
Wild
gaslighting,
to
man.
me.
She's
Ooh,
gaslighting.
that felt good. Hey Lex, did you get goosebumps when she said it finally?
Oh man, this is crazy.
He can't help her. Ooh.
He can't help her. He's not a doctor, but he can help her get help. He can find help for her when she's telling him, "I need help." Oh, what you mean? Actually, you think he's gonna help her? No, I know.
Should he stay or leave? Should he
Hold
stay
on.
or leave?
I know he can't actually help her, but he can get her somewhere.
Should he stay or leave? Should he stay or leave?
How can he get her help?
Yeah.
How can he can't even get her to give him his son? How can he tell her you need to go get help and her actually do it? How can he do that? He can't force help on her. She has to go get help herself.
And that's what she did, right?
No, you ever see the show Intervention? The whole family be there crying, snot coming out their nose. They got pamphlets reading them off to the person. Sharon, when we used to play in the sandbox, and they be doing all that stuff, and the person just be looking at them. Can I go smoke crack now? Y'all done? So how can you get if they're not gonna get help from that? How's she gonna get help from him just saying, "Hey, you out there with a gun? I think you need to go get some professional help." When is he gonna tell her that? Because in her mind, she know if I do this, I potentially is giving up my custody. If I come off as a loony, I'm potentially giving up my custody. I need to do this, and she got people on her side that's telling her the right things to do. He might not. They say, "Oh, just wait. We're gonna do this. We're gonna say you was in therapy already. I already got the therapist. They already on the payroll. Yada yada yada."
So when she said that, when she was outside and she was upset and she was this, that, and the third, he shouldn't have did. He should have did just what he did and not do nothing.
No matter what you did, I still love you.
Crazy.
Nah.
Y'all wild. I'm saying the young man, but that's not a part of the argument. That's not a part of the argument. The argument is she was suicidal at that time. She was suicidal, and he knew that. But
You're way
knew that.
too beautiful, girl.
So
why it'll never work?
No, y'all goofy.
Because
should he stay or leave?
Y'all goofy.
Should he stay or leave? Should he stay or leave, HQ?
That's not the point.
She don't want to say it, Lex. She don't want to say it.
That's not the point.
Your son, should he stay or leave?
Yeah, should your son stay or leave?
Should he
Your
stay?
advice to your son behind closed doors. Should
I
he
don't
stay
think they
or
were
leave?
together at that. I don't think they were together at that time.
Oh man,
no idea.
HQ. Stay or leave.
Really?
Everybody in the chat gonna be like, "Yo, you need to bounce."
It's black and white.
Everybody
just like
in the chat will be like, "You need to leave," because you're gonna end up with a steak knife in your chest.
Then why didn't he leave?
You just said I don't think they was even together.
No,
so now you're saying why didn't
I
he
said
leave?
he should leave. So why didn't he leave?
HQ, we asking you a question directly.
I don't know anything about that boy. I don't know why that boy didn't leave. I don't know why he stayed.
Oh man, yo, HQ, you need to change your name to Barry Sanders. You need to change Barry Sanders. Yo.
That is the point. The point
untouchable.
is, I can't. Y'all
get him.
Hey,
get him.
We throwing 300-400 pound linemen at her. She just.
Yeah, man. She get hit with everything but the kitchen sink. This is absolute terror.
We're not gonna let you take this to the house, man. This is not Tecmo Bowl. No way.
Right.
Are you telling him to stay or to go?
Am I telling
your son?
Your son.
Wait a minute! I already answered this question.
No, you did not.
No, you
yes,
did
I
not.
did.
You did not
yes, I did.
Question. You did not.
You
said you tell her to get help. Now, after he do that,
I tell him to tell her to get help and
should he
get
stay or
her
leave?
help.
Okay,
so
should he stay or leave? Go?
Obviously, he can't do it. Wait a minute, hold on. I would not tell him. I would not tell him any of that. because he's gonna do what he wants to do. I wouldn't tell, son, you need
Oh my goodness.
Son, you need to get away from her.
And she pulling guns and he needs to stay? And you ain't gonna tell that boy to leave? Oh no.
No, nobody wants that call.
No.
Because then you're gonna be like, I
No.
Get away from her.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
We wow.
Y'all wow.
Oh man.
Y'all wow. You think that
Ty
boy,
told you bring your fire extinguisher?
you think that boy is gonna get away from that girl because I said get away from that girl?
Listen,
We didn't-
it's about
no,
it ain't about what he
Yes,
gonna do.
you can tell him to get
Okay,
away
that's
from her,
what
but he's
that's
not
all-
going to do
okay.
that.
And
It's
and
not
that's
about
all we
what
wanted
I
was
say.
that
It's about
answer.
what
We
you
didn't
say.
we didn't
Don't-
say
don't
he
matter
was
what
gonna
I
do
say.
it.
It do matter.
What's
You
the
ain't
point?
mama.
What's the
Yes,
point?
It do matter. You ain't mama.
We didn't
No.
ask you
What's
what
the
was he
point?
gonna do. We asked you what
We
would
asked you
you
what would
say.
you say?
What is
Every
the
parent
point
in
you
here
say?
would be like, you need to get away from that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got
Get
it.
away
Hey,
from her, son. Get
If
away
a
from her,
dude
son.
swing and my
okay,
daughter
now
duck
she
one
done
day
missed it.
and he miss, if a dude swing and my daughter, and he miss,
In the
you
history
need to
of
get away from him.
that boy gonna
Because
live.
then I'm gonna have to do something.
When in the history of it has anybody who been in love got away from somebody? Even
We
with-
not you strong manning right now.
No,
Jay just
I
told
would-
me
I
that's
probably
not
would-
the
I would have
argument.
said,
Got away from
I would have
the
said
girl.
you
That's not
can't
the
help
argument.
her. No,
said
you
you're
want me to
strong
say
man right
I would have
now.
told him to get away from her.
That's all we wanted you to say.
No,
Would
I
you
would-
tell
I
him
would
or would
probably-
you not?
I probably would not have said that.
Okay, so that's the answer, HQ. That's all we was asking you.
Because that don't make no sense to say it.
Why not?
Because he's gonna do what he's gonna do anyway.
Yeah,
regardless
okay,
of
but
what I
we
say.
asked you what
Son,
you would
can
say.
Get away from that girl, and he gonna say, "I love her."
Tyranny, ain't you full of
I
milk
love
right
her.
now? Don't go do what you need to do. Get off this live.
Cause I love her. I ain't going nowhere, mama. I love her. What
Put
you
your feet up.
Mama, you telling me to get away from her. Now I know you don't like her, mama. Now I know you don't like her. Now you ain't on our side. Mama, you
And then you're
told
gonna be
me
like,
to leave her.
yeah, and
Hey, HQ,
Yeah,
here's a
and?
better question.
Hell no,
Would you get away from him if he pulled a gun on you? Right.
yeah.
Right. Would you get away from him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I would, yes.
Okay.
But see,
Okay.
here's the thing. Of course, I would get away from him because he pulled a gun on me. She didn't pull a gun on him. She grabbed the gun to go outside to hurt. Hold on. She
Okay.
went outside to hurt herself. She went outside to hurt herself. She didn't go outside to pull a gun on you. She put a gun on. She put a gun outside.
But
She was sitting
HQ,
outside.
Okay.
you understand that escalation? That's extreme
Of course,
escalation.
I understand that. Of course, I understand that.
You ever seen Menace to Society? Remember Samuel in the beginning? You
Yeah.
playing cards.
So I want to know this: if you dating a guy,
That's
and
extreme
he go
escalation.
outside and he pull a gun out, and he starts talking about, "I'm gonna end
That
it,"
wasn't
waving the
disrespectful.
gun
I told you to
around, are you gonna
rest up,
stay?
sister.
You
said
gonna
what?
stay?
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, say it again. I'm sorry. I didn't
I
hear
said, so I want to know if you dating a guy,
you. Right?
he goes outside to his car and he pulls the gun and he's standing out there. He's like, "I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it." Are you gonna stay with him?
Hell no, I'm calling 911.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling 911. I'm calling some help.
Are you
need some
going
help.
back? Are you going back with him afterwards?
No, I'm not going back with him after that.
Okay.
Which is exactly what happened with DDG. What do you mean?
No, we asking you. So you answered the
I would have
question.
did the same thing he did. I would have did
I'm
the same
satisfied.
thing.
No, DDG actually.
What?
No. I'm
he
saying
didn't do anything.
No. I agree. You said you leave. That's all I wanted to hear.
And he left. He did exactly what I would have did. But I'm saying I would have got away from her. I wouldn't have been pregnant. But I mean, it's a different scenario. That's a different story. You're going to delete yourself as opposed to hurting me. I'm not worried about me getting hurt. I'm worried about you getting hurt. Yes. So I'm calling 911 on you, and I think you need to get some help.
I think anybody
happen.
Threatening to take themselves out, in my opinion, they're also a threat to me, because the chances of them pulling that gun, them shooting themselves in the arm and then deciding they want to shoot me is high.
But here's the old thing.
Hey, you know what Halle Bailey said?
Yeah.
He said, "If you die, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
And if I die, I'm taking you with me."
And here's the thing. When she pulled the gun and she did all of that stuff,
But did she love him?
where's the 911 call that DDG should have made if he thought it was that serious? He thought it was going to be all of that. Why didn't he call the law? Why didn't he call?
Okay, can I say something in effect to that? As far as the young black culture, can I say something in effect to that?
Didn't call 911.
A lot of people don't want to get the police involved. HQ, that's the truth. That's the truth. A lot of women don't call the police because they don't want to get the police involved. I think Tyranny even said that when sometimes they get walloped on because they got the black man's back so strong. It's the same. It goes the same way. A lot of people don't like involving the police in domestic affairs because stuff gets messy and they have public images. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely going to get out. So he might have been thinking about her more than she was thinking about her.
So
she got Little Mermaid. She got all this other stuff, singing and other stuff with her sister. I do not want people to think that she's about to self-delete. Yeah, yo, you need to calm down and relax. So you need to put that down and get out of here.
Oh, okay. So why is he doing that now?
When you know I got to be right if Tyranny is agreeing with me.
Why did he do? Now, why did he?
The hormones is on point, Tyranny.
So why didn't he put that in the news before? Why did he put it in the news now when he knew it wasn't relevant?
Maybe he's not trying to. I don't know, HQ. I don't know why he didn't do something.
Right. No. So I can only assume
and that's his fault.
You didn't feel like it was that serious. You didn't feel like it was that serious.
That doesn't mean that. It just means that he just didn't. He must have thought something else would have been a worse consequence to doing that than to not doing it. He might have felt that he could get his kid a different way.
He just thought he could get his kid a different way. So my whole point is this: why would her? I get it. I get where people keep thinking, oh, okay, well, that's a very serious consequence. It is a very serious thing. It is a very serious thing. And it would be even more serious if she never got any help or knew she had needed help. But the judge is going to look at that and say, hey, I was at my lowest, Judge. I just lost my boyfriend. I just had my child. I just had the child. I just had this. I was at my lowest point. I felt being suicidal. I went to get help. I had postpartum depression. I had depression while I was pregnant. I felt crappy while I was being pregnant. That's what she said.
Hey, I'm not like the young whippersnappers. I'm calling the police.
I am too. I'm calling police. I don't care.
And I'm gonna be just as calm.
Yes.
And I might even code switch.
And he should have called the police.
Allegedly.
He called the police right then. It would have just been what it was. Yes, she did say all that, Project Leroy. Yes, she did say that. She's had a therapist. She had postpartum depression. She said it in the tweets.
That's not how that works through the fire.
No black person.
You will almost always lose your life. What? God, dog. Do you know how many times the police encounters go through a day with black people and they don't lose their life?
If I have to call the police, if you got to call the police on me, the trust is over. Absolutely,
always. How many of y'all been pulled over before?
Yeah,
I've been shot at with a group of people. I've never been a gun pulled out on me myself.
I had a gun pulled out on me once.
It wasn't no police officer. It was a brother that looked just like me.
By a police officer
shooting at some kids, man. Horrible.
So I mean, I understand why he didn't
whatever they was doing.
Is DDG a regular rapper or is he like a gangbanger thug or he's not? He's not one of those people.
I don't see that in him.
He's just a rapper person. I don't know.
I don't see that in him. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to either of them other than all the controversy around her being a black Little Mermaid.
Right.
But
other than the black, I never knew her or anything else about her until I found out she was pregnant. Somebody said the mermaid girl's pregnant. I was like, who the hell is the mermaid? The little white girl with red hair? No, it was a black girl. I was like, what black girl? And then that's when I figured out who she was, and she was pregnant. Right. The whole point is, I believe them both. It is what it is. It's her belief, his belief, and it's somewhere in the middle. But the police is going to look at her stuff and err on the side of caution, which they did, and they gave her the temporary restraining order.
Dog.
I've had 3 different police in the last year pull a gun on what? on me for my tent. These cops are, I believe.
Get rid of that tent or move, brother.
Wow.
They people pulling guns on you that much?
Yeah, that's wild.
You got to wear a diaper just to drive around the city.
That's crazy. But
Bro,
anyway, they got to go to
I feel
court.
for you, fam.
It may be this week or next week. She got to go to court, and then she gotta answer his charges too. But 9 times out of 10, the judge is gonna be like, y'all going back and forth that I don't believe either one of y'all. So now I want you all to have some kind of parenting class. I want you all to have some kind of anger management classes, because she said you hit her, and he said you cut him. So therefore, y'all both need anger management classes. Blah blah blah. So that's probably how it's going to go. But it's going to be a road for them to decide how that go, whether he gets joint custody or she gets sole custody. It just depends on what the judge says. It's not a matter of, well, they're going to take custody away from her. They're not going to do that. That's a primary caregiver. Of course, they're not going to take it away from her. But the whole point is he going to get joint custody? Does he want joint custody? Has he been giving her support for the child? Has he been supportive, or has he been dropping the kid off to the mother?
This is one of them things where that really don't matter, because they both got money. So you should be able to take care of it on your side. You get the kid a week, I get the kid a week. And we both they no support. There's no support. We co-parent. They both got money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Support is for people when, like, okay, I want to marry you, and we have a kid, and I don't want you to work. So now I'm taking you out of the workforce. Now you've been out the workforce for years. You don't have any current skills. And then I'm like, all right, peace, deuce. Yeah, I should have to do something because I put you in that predicament. But in their situation, support? No, man. You get the kid a week, you get the kid a week. And we're going to alternate holidays all throughout the year. And
I mean, that's if they decide to give him joint custody. He filed for full and sole custody.
He shouldn't get that either. And he shouldn't get that either. Absolutely not. That's not just your kid. That's your kid.
That's their kid.
And as long as the kid is not in danger when you're with them, I don't care what you do outside of it. Now, HQ, if he is involved, like what the point you was kind of trying to go to is, if he was getting in fights and he's got ops and all this stuff, and there's people coming after him, now that's putting the kid in danger. But to get in a fight with somebody, or his brother get into a fight with somebody, that's inconsequential. It don't.
Yeah, but she listed it in the document. She listed it in the.
She can list everything she wants to,
because she had to list all of the reasons why she felt like she should be the one to have full custody, and she mentioned that particular fight that he had this past weekend.
Because she was hoping it would tarnish his image.
How do you think it looks for him to release those files, the text message that he listed?
HQ is what I said, not the truth. I didn't say nothing about what he did. I just said
how is she doing that? But for his reputation, this was out in the open. She didn't invent this. She didn't bring this out in the open. It was already in the open.
You just said she brought it to court.
Yes,
the court just don't get stuff. You have to present evidence.
No, she hasn't presented that particular evidence. She said, I'm going to prove. She said, I'm going to prove when I come to court this week that he got into a fight. He got into this altercation.
So she's planning on presenting to tarnish his image.
She's planning on. Yes. So, but he did it first.
That's what I said. As he should. And then the courts is going to go to and filter through all the information and try to find out where the truth lies in whatever their statements are. That's the job of the court system. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking DDG side at all, or Halle Bailey. I'm taking the side of the facts.
Right.
They both need to come and present evidence, and the court needs to filter through, and the jurors need to decide what stuff they can substantiate.
Yeah, and
what's the likelihood that this did happen?
Once they go through the evidence, you're both going to be on the hook for everything. You're going to both.
But
be
until
on the hook.
then, it's all allegations.
And he presented physical evidence. So did she. So they both that negates the, as far as I'm concerned, both of y'all was swinging, both of y'all was fighting. So therefore, we can't put that into.
What if they pull? What was that king in the Bible when they take the kid? That I'm gonna cut the kid in half and see which one.
Whoa,
See, that's why I say it's like I'm not religious, but the Bible, these stories last. That is this story. Which parent cares more about the kid? Are you willing to sacrifice to get what your half, or do you want the well-being of the child?
Right.
It's a broad story, but I mean, that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I want them because I don't want you to have them, and I want them, and you can't do this with them. You can't do this with them. And if they both doing that, they mean they both don't really have the because if you know the person's not a good boyfriend or girlfriend to you, right?
Mhm.
But you know that they treat the kid good. You know they do.
Mm.
Do you say no? They need to have their mother or their father in their life. They need to have both of them in their life.
Right.
So I'm not going to get in your way of that. I just need you to, as much as you don't like me, I just need you to promise me that you're going to do right by our child. This is our child.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And that's a mature mindset. Now I want full custody, DDG, because you're not going to get it. Now I want full custody, Halle Bailey, because you're not going to get it. That's stupid.
I mean,
that's both y'all kids.
It just depends on who proves what, who comes across as what, who comes across as more credible. It just depends on how that go. Normally, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have you may have joint custody, you may not. But if she gets full custody, he's gonna have to. Well, see, here's the thing. How does she prove? How does he disprove the fact that she has been going through his mother? She's been going through his mother to try to get a custody arrangement made. She has all of those messages that she tried to go through his mother and him, and he wouldn't answer her regarding.
Because he was probably told not to communicate with her if this was already in the courts.
No, before the court, between January and now, she's been trying.
If anything came out before that she was going to court and he went to go see a lawyer, his lawyer could just be saying, "Shut up.
Okay,
let me deal with it. Don't do nothing unless I tell you to."
I don't think
sometimes they go outside of that, and that's when they take it to social media, which is so stupid.
I think she filed in May. And he was supposed to get his response up there, and he never did get his response up there.
It does not, Project Leroy. It does not.
How is the mother having full custody benefit the child again? How has the mother?
He's asking, how does the mother having full custody benefit the child again? Like, rhetorical question. It don't. Look at the statistics. It does not.
We don't know.
Yes, we do.
It just depends on how it just depends on the relationship that man has.
We don't know.
I would say statistically, it doesn't benefit the child. Now there are extremes where the guy can be unfit to be a parent after birthing the baby, but you know.
But hey Lex, him, whether he's a good dad, a mediocre dad, or a horrible dad, it still doesn't benefit if the mom only has the kid.
No, now, would you rather have no dad or horrible dad? A lot of people would say I'd rather have no dad.
I mean, I'd say none.
I would say
for
none.
A father versus a male figure in your life beating you down,
or
showing you the wrong way to do it. I don't think that's so good.
This situation right here, they should have joint custody. He shouldn't have to pay no child support. He should be able to take his son wherever he want to take his son. She should be able to take her son wherever she need. They need to consult each other when they need to do what they need to do. You get them 1 month, I get them 1 month. You get them 1 month, I get them 1 month. And then you ain't got no argument. I get them 6 months of the year, you get
2 weeks.
Yeah,
I think 2 weeks is a good amount.
Or you keep them for 6 months and I keep them to however y'all need to.
That's too long. That's too much brainwashing can happen.
So
too much brainwashing can happen in 6 months.
And then you don't have to pay no child support. All the support comes on you. All of the care needs to come on you, and that means that you actually have to be a mother. You actually have to be a father. You actually have to do what you got to do for that whole month that you got that boy.
I mean, think about it, right?
He's with your mama.
He's a streamer. So even if he's streaming, his son could be there with a nanny in the vicinity. She's a movie star. So when she's on set, she's on set. She might have to go somewhere for another movie. She's going to take her kid. She's going to fly her kid out and she's going to be on set. Now, if you know Hollyweird, when kids is around that type of environment and stuff, and there's a lot of yes people there and give that kid everything they want, it kind of don't work out too well.
Well, see, here's the thing. You can't really separate a kid from the mother.
So
how would they be doing that when he's only 1 year old? They won't be doing that. That's why I think the court is gonna say she has to have full primary custody. Because
how could she have full primary?
Because the child is so small. That's why. And the child is going to have to be around her because she's the full-time parent. I get it.
What?
Mm-hmm.
HQ, you back? You put it in reverse. We going back?
No, I said it would be ideal if they could have joint custody, but because he's so small,
what does that have to do with anything?
Because the child is so small, just like a 1 year, like a 1 month old. They ain't gonna give him cut. No,
this kid is not 1 month. How old is this baby?
1 year old.
One.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You could be with the dad.
Maybe just physical. She could have full physical custody, but he could have partial. He could have visitation, generous visitation. I don't know how that shit works. All I know is they're not gonna take that kid away from her.
That's madness.
They're not gonna take that kid away from her.
And why? And why is that, HQ?
Because he's so young. Because he's so young.
But why is that? So say she passed, then he's not capable of taking care of a 1 year old.
Because
say she did go through with it, and after she was, postpartum and the baby was born, you telling me he wouldn't be capable to raise a kid on his own? Or if she passed in childbirth?
What I'm saying is traditionally they don't separate.
And that's our point when we say the courts. They don't
keep that young from a mother.
That's why we say the courts favor the women, HQ. So you can't argue against us on both sides of it. We literally said that's why the courts favor the women. And here you are saying it. I'm trying to see if you're gonna come out of it. But no,
there's not one time that I ever said the courts favor the women. I said
no, the courts do favor the women. That's what we've been telling you.
That's what I'm saying. And what I said was 9 times out of 10, most men don't fight for their children. Only 5.
Why you gotta fight?
I say a good 10 or 15%.
Why you gotta fight? Why do I have to fight for my kid?
I give it to you 10 or 15.
Why do I even have to fight for my kid? Who am I fighting for my kid?
You have to fight for your rights as a father.
Who am I? I have to fight for my rights. I don't have inalienable rights to my DNA, to my offspring, to my lineage. I don't have inalienable rights to that child.
That doesn't work. We gotta have a legal foundation. We can't have an emotional foundation. We gotta have a legal foundation.
I can't give up rights.
Fight for the rights of your child. That's it.
What if I don't want rights then? What if I say I'm gonna pay $1 million up front, $1.8 million up front, and I don't want nothing to do with this kid? Then they're gonna say, no, that's not how it works. You have to be financially responsible for this child. Wait a second.
I have no idea.
So if I want my kid, if I want to be in my kid's life, I have to fight for it. I have to fight for it.
For the legal
if I don't want to be in my kid's life, I have to fight for it. I have to fight to be in my kid's life or not be in my kid's life. So I don't have no control at all.
I mean, it is what it is. You ask for double
standard. So is the woman in the government going to tell me you're going to be a father or you're not going to be a father? Okay.
This is the double standard. We don't like it.
And they talk about feminists talk about women don't have the same rights as men. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But men do not have the same rights as women.
But what does that have to do with the court? That man that you see, that white man made that court up. That white man,
those powerful men did that.
The white man made the court up. So therefore, y'all need to have an issue with the white men.
I give powerful people powerful that happen to be white.
So therefore,
Diddy was black. He had a lot of power.
So you need to take that up with the courts. Men made these laws.
We do need to take it up with the law. We need to take it up with the court because the courts get money. The state gets money from men paying for child support. So what is it? 70 cents out of 30 cents out of every dollar? Some nonsense like that. That's ridiculous, man.
Thank you, Mr. Walker, for 99-cent super sticker. Thank you, sir. And Major Drama became a YouTube member. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, but see, that's the whole thing. You have to fight for the right. You have to fight for the right to be a father. It is what it is. Once they do the blood test or once you do the blood test, and you have to prove paternity, then we wouldn't have this. But hey, now we don't have that. Until we have that, it's going to be the way it is. Until you have that, people have to start fighting for that paternity. The minute the baby come out, boom, paternity. Oh, okay, that ain't my baby. I can walk away. Boom, I'm good.
Yeah, 100% paternity.
But the minute we find out you are the father, you're gonna be on the hook for that child support. You're gonna be on the hook for that. So just like it's a good side to it, it's gonna be a bad side to it too. Okay, so I'm all for it. I want every time a child come out of somebody's hoo-ha, I want the blood test done, and we're gonna find the father. Okay, we ain't gonna have no ifs, ands, or buts. We gonna find the daddy, and then that's gonna be you on the hook for that damn baby, unless you sign away the rights. Okay, unless you sign away the rights.
It takes two people to lay down, though. Black men should definitely protect their seed, but women should also protect their wombs.
Yeah, but
you saying inherently men need to be more responsible than women are?
Yeah.
Or do they both need to be accountable for that action? Yeah, he sure enough did, Typro.
Yo, wild.
You know I'm coming over later to crack that thing on. Crack some eggs.
Y'all wild. He keep on texting me too. Leave me alone.
He said, "Sweetie, go ahead. Let me get you a new lamp."
He gonna text me. This is him. This is him. No, don't text me. He texts me all the time in the middle of these doggone no, don't be texting me. Go on about your way. But no, I understand.
You can't sign away your rights. Nope.
They won't let you sign away your rights.
No.
They won't let you do it now?
No. HQ, it's a story where a teacher was with like her young student, like 13 or some years old, right?
Oh, you talking about that
once he hit 18,
yeah.
He was Latino, right?
Asian. He was like Asian.
Was he Asian?
Yeah.
Once he hit 18, she took him for child support. And she SA'd this kid. Technically. It's like, what in the world? What? The court system. Gotta love it. Don't favor women? Okay, fair enough.
He was 15. He was fit. That's wild. But I'm saying
this kid he got to pay child support at 18 years old, man. Madness.
I mean, it would eliminate a whole bunch of drama if the minute that child comes out, you get the blood test done, you get the paternity taken.
That doesn't make sense, Black Beauty. Stop.
After she got out of prison, she married him after she got out of prison too. If the other one,
I know one did. Some other couple got married, but I don't think it's the same couple.
Right. No, the first one that we heard about. What the hell is her name? And she died of cancer. I remember that. Yeah, because the young boy was 15 or something, and she was just like, I think she was mentally ill a little bit, but then that's just me. I don't know.
I just want to break this down, man.
What?
Black Beauty.
What?
She said to me, if you are the one sitting here complaining about who has more control, then you need to be more careful as to where you plant your seed. Please make that make sense to me. Both people are responsible. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying one is more responsible than the other. You both laid down and agreed to do the thing that people do to have kids. You're both responsible.
Right.
One is not responsible more than the other in a consensual joining.
Yeah, but
what are we talking about? So a guy can complain as much as he wants to, and the girl can complain as much as she wants to. Because I've heard both. Right. But you both are at fault or should be held accountable for that action.
But see, that's the thing. What she's saying is most people want to blame the woman. Well, she shouldn't have got pregnant. She shouldn't have opened her leg. No, that has not. No, you're also responsible. You're also responsible.
Yes.
When did we ever say the man wasn't responsible?
No.
Nobody up here has ever said that. Up here.
No, not up here.
Not up here.
Not up here. I'm saying a lot of men, you go on the other panels and you'll hear men say,
but them the guys that don't get nothing. Those probably the guys that don't get anything. They mad. Those guys are mad. I got my share and I got my kids. And I ain't got no other kids out of nobody else that I don't want. Right. And I was married 3 years before we decided to have our first one. So I know it's possible. And I wasn't strapping up. So it's possible.
Right. And this is, I say to myself,
I don't feel like she has more rights, Black Beauty. I just explained it and walked it down. A man cannot, if a woman wants to AB, he has no control over that. He might be able to persuade her to do it, but if she wants to do it or not want to do it, he has no control over it, right? Because it's in her body if she wants to do that. And after the baby comes out, if he doesn't want any nothing to do with that kid, he doesn't have that right. And if he wants something to do with that kid, he has to fight for it.
Right.
Do you not understand that? Either way, or either side of the spectrum, and then it's split off on this side too, Either A, B, yes or no, her choice. Him in the life of the kid or not in the life of the kid is not his choice. So it's inherently the women have more control. That's what I'm saying.
No,
if you can't get that, I don't know how else to explain that to
because because we know that men have more control. Men have
how?
Because you have the because you ultimately decide where you put your seed. If you don't put your seed in her, and y'all just have sex, you make the decision. Then there would be no baby.
What if she say I'm on birth control and she's been on birth control for 6 months?
Then you ain't supposed to believe her. You're still supposed to protect your seed.
And then all of a sudden she's like, you know what? This is a good dude. He got a good job. I'm gonna go ahead and miss a couple. So she was being responsible.
Now
and then she's being responsible.
Right. But you're supposed
to because they both agreed as adults. The burden of protection against the burden of barrier of that is going to be on you because we only have female birth controls, right? So the burden of birth control is on her.
The burden of not having children is on you.
It's on both of them. I just said that. But the burden of birth control is only on her. It can only be on her unless you giving her the shot yourself or sticking it down her throat yourself.
You can wear a condom.
Or you can wear that. But there's a lot of people that don't want to do that, HQ.
Well, how is it on her for the birth
because
control?
She's the only one that can take it because there is no male birth control.
But you have the condom you can wear.
HQ. I'm not taking it out of the man's responsibility to protect his seed. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the birth control burden is on her. It can only be on her because she's the only one who can take it.
Okay. I'm just gonna have sex.
And the protecting it and not finishing where you not supposed to, that's burden is on him.
Okay. So I'm not wearing no condom. I'm not taking birth control no more.
Obviously, a lot of people aren't.
So therefore, you should be doing it for you to cover you. So it can't be just her responsibility for birth control. It's got to be yours as well.
But okay, so even if marriage aside, say it's a long-term relationship and these people love each other, that doesn't change anything about what I said. What if she gets pregnant, she's got a high job position coming up soon or an opportunity coming up soon? She's like, and they love each other. And she's like, I don't think I should have this baby because I'm going to miss this opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that I get. Babe, we don't know. We both 32, let's this our baby. Let's not do this. And she's like, no, I have this once in a lifetime job opportunity that's only offered to one person every so long. I can't be pregnant right now.
Right.
I've wanted this my whole life.
Right.
And she gets an AB, and they've been together for years. They've been together since college.
Okay.
He has we all think about nug and stuff. You're not thinking about the other stuff. Well, he has no control over that. That was his baby too, that they both laid down and had.
Right.
And then now she's saying, no, I got something else that's coming up on the table better. I don't want to be a mom now, and I'm going to miss this opportunity. I'm getting this out of me. He has no control over that.
Okay. We understand that.
Yeah.
But he had control when putting it in her, though.
Oh my God.
You keep saying it's more of her responsibility. No, it's not. It's his.
I didn't say that was more of her responsibility. That's both of their responsibility. But I'm saying he has no rights. They've been in love since college.
Right.
But she's putting her career opportunity over being a mom.
Right.
He has no rights to say anything. And they could have been cohabitating since college.
Right.
In a state where they're married, common law marriage. They could be common law married because they lived together for so long. He has no right to stop her from doing that.
Well, yeah.
How are y'all not seeing this?
We understand that he don't have no rights.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
And
I've been saying that.
We're saying that you make a decision when you walk into a bedroom without a condom on. You make a decision to get somebody pregnant.
You don't make a decision to say, no, I don't want to keep this kid, because she's making the decision for that. Do you not understand what I'm saying?
I mean, did you understand what I just said?
She don't care, Mr. Walker.
No, because you don't understand what I'm saying to you.
You don't care at all.
You walked into the bedroom and said, I want to
10 years. I've been walking into this bedroom for 10 years doing all kinds of wildness.
Yes. You walked into the bedroom and said, I don't mind being pregnant. That's what you said.
And yes, and he said that. I don't, and he's saying that, HQ. He's saying, I want to have a baby.
She's saying, I don't.
And she's saying, I don't. He has no choice in not having that baby. They can't scoop the baby out and put it in another woman. He has no rights. He has no rights because she chose her career over their baby.
Yes, we understand that. What do you mean?
And that's
what do you mean?
I need something stronger than kombucha, y'all. This kombucha is just
we understand all of that.
Just kombucha, y'all. I need some.
And that's a whole nother argument. That's a whole nother side of the argument. The whole point is not to have the baby or wear a condom or don't get her pregnant. You make a decision. Every man, regardless of whether you want to have a baby or not, you still walk into the bedroom saying, I'm going to get somebody pregnant when you don't wear a condom. That's what you're saying.
Hold on. Black Beauty saying, and I love this. I really wish you would get up here. Black Beauty, we understand. You just have to find another woman. Okay. That makes sense, Black Beauty. So when that dude been stringing you along the whole time and he go clap your best friend cheeks, it's okay. Just go get another man. All right. Yeah, it's okay. Just go get another man. 10 years down the drain, she AB'd the baby because she had a job opportunity. Yeah, just go get another woman. Yeah, go get another man. His secretary, he been smashing for 5 years. She got pregnant. You can't get pregnant now. Oh, just go get another man. It's okay.
Now, hold on. Why is it okay? So why is it okay? Okay. I see where that comes from.
We're not talking about
her sacrificing is not a good thing to sacrifice. What if the man came and said, I can't afford to have this baby, but she's pregnant?
He still has no choice. He could say, I can't afford this baby. She's like, I'm not. It's against my beliefs. I'm not getting rid of this baby. The baby's going to be had. If she says, I don't want this because I want a better job opportunity, the baby's not going to be had. It's her decision. It's not his at all. And then if the baby's had, say she goes through postpartum after saying, I want the baby, but then she goes through postpartum and is like, I can't do this. And he was like, I told you not to have it. I don't want nothing to do with it because I told you not to have it.
But guess what?
Guess what, sucker? No, he can't. Where? In what state?
There's plenty to walk away and don't pay nothing.
Okay. That's the woman's choice, though, to not put him on child support. She can put him on child support right away. All she got to do is go down the file. Heard women say, I don't want to put him on child support. Screw him. I don't want nothing to do with him. I've heard it. But she has the choice to do it. He's still liable to take care of that baby financially. I don't care if he don't make no money. If he go to jail, they going 15 cents is going to be coming out.
Yeah, but we understand that. I understand that completely. No rights. The man has no rights. But see, you have the right to decide whether you're going to have that baby initially or not.
No, you have the right to deposit consensually. That's it.
Once
you deposit consensually, regardless of the circumstance, all your rights are gone.
Yes, because you give her your sperm. You say, I'm giving you my sperm. You can do with it what you will. Right. Boom. That's exactly what a man says when he walks into a room and he deposits his sperm. Do with it what you will. Now, whose fault is that? That's not her fault. That's his fault. Because he says, do with it what you will. And where
is that legal? Where can a guy can try to skip out? He can finagle the system, but the system is designed to get that money up out of him. So he can try to finagle and scam his way out of it. Right? That's still not saying that's not what the court is set up to do. The court is legally set up to come after you for child support, whatever is agreed upon by the judge. That takes nothing away from whether or not he's paying or not. He could skip out. He could skip town. Yeah, we understand that. But the court is set up. If they get their hands on him, You going to jail, brother.
They put people in jail for that. I mean, I don't know that. If they put them in jail, I didn't know that. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. I've never really ran across it where you had somebody went to jail because of child support, because that would just be against the whole thing of getting child support.
There was a guy, I think it might have been in Detroit. Ty Pro, you might know this. I think the dude never even did nothing with the lady, but she put him on the birth certificate. I think they had like a couple of dates or something like that. It's a ridiculous story. And he's on the thing talking to the news like, this is ridiculous. Like I'm literally fighting. I got to show up to court. I'm literally fighting for my life for something I didn't do. Like I didn't even have the pleasure of being with this lady, and I'm potentially going to jail for child support.
Oh wow! Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I think it was in Detroit. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, see, so therefore, what should we be fighting for? We should be fighting for
women need to stay in the house, out of the workplace. They need to be nurtured.
What? What? We need to be fighting for.
I love when I do that and you make that face, man.
We need to be fighting for off the rip birth control, paternity test off
Facts.
the rip.
100%.
Then we need to be fighting for some equal rights in the court system. Look, don't just consider her being the parent. Consider me being the parent first. Look at me first before you look at her.
Ooh, right.
And then, what is the third one? I had a third one. Legal rights, the paternity off the bat.
And being able to whoop women again.
What?
Yeah, being able to whoop them.
What, in pool?
On the courthouse steps with a stick no thicker than my thumb. Across the backside.
They still do that in foreign countries. You do know that, right?
Oh, if they get jiggy with it in foreign countries.
Yeah.
And women here be like, I'm so oppressed. No, you're not.
Not like that.
No, you're not. You don't think, you ain't oppressed. You might feel oppressed because you've been told that you are, but you're not. Your daily life, you get up, you do what you want to do. You can get the education you want, you get the job you want.
I meant to ask you that question. I meant to ask you this question. We wake up every day and women are considered second in the society, right or wrong?
Second-class citizens?
No, second behind men.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
But it's weird because it's the thing that's second is what we protect most. And you could look at that from the laws that's made. All these laws are a lot of laws that are made are not just to keep people safe, they're to keep women safe.
So if you agree, I agree to that too. So if I'm considered second,
but you don't have less opportunity than us,
right? But I'm still considered second behind men in this society.
Yeah, that's a law of nature, though. That's not even, that's beyond society. That we can't help that. So we have to protect you as a collective of men. HQ, we've done things to make our society safe to protect women. If we all agree to protect women, I know the women that I love is going to be protected. You know, the women that you love going to be protected, and it's going to carry out across. So nobody wants our women to be in danger. We want our women to be able to walk around, take public transit, and do all that stuff. So we all make the laws and put things in place so that women can be protected. Women only gyms or other kind of facilities.
Okay.
We do all that stuff to keep women protected.
Right. But we're still considered second. We're still considered second because this is a patriarchal society. We are considered.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And every woman, I heard somebody say this before, HQ. Until now, until these days where society is so cushy, you probably didn't hear no women back in the day arguing to come out of the hut to go hunt lions or to go hunt or to go to war or to fight like that.
Right.
You probably didn't hear no woman. They was like, no, I'm gonna stay right here and do my little berry picking, and I'm gonna make these baskets. I'm gonna go get me some water. down at the creek. I'm gonna do these nice things and I'm gonna nurture the kids. Y'all go out there and conquer the world and keep us safe. But now, because we've conquered the world and they have all the protection, now it's like, wait a second, you can't be on top. We want those jobs. And women are still not fighting for the harder jobs. They're fighting for the upper echelon jobs, right. the corner office jobs, the air conditioned spaces. They're not fighting for the crappy jobs. There's no women in the military or the police force or the firefighting. There's none that say, no, we want the standards to be just like a man's standards because we can do that too. They go in and say, oh, these are women's standards. We can do the women's standards. They're not fighting for equality.
So you say women want to be in the second position?
Yes.
Want to be
HQ, there's no rule, as far as I know, that says a woman can't play in the NBA.
Now,
it's legit. It might be a logistical nightmare, but you mean to tell me if it was a female LeBron James born woman just out there just nasty, you mean to tell me she wouldn't want to play in the NBA and not the WNBA? The queen of buckets out there just yamming. She's been playing with men her whole life. You mean to tell me she wouldn't want to go in the NBA to be the first woman in the NBA?
Probably.
Where she could just dominate the WNBA? She don't want that. She want to prove herself against the men. And we see this on all these little reality shows, the 100 and all this other stuff. The elite athletes, the men are still superior.
That's what I meant to say. Ty Pro is here. Ty Pro here. We're gonna review straw with shit.
What's that?
Raji P. Hilton. Straw.
Oh, the new movie? I want to see her all sweaty and sad and black, brown eyed.
I ain't seen her. Why did
she gonna win an Oscar for this one? Why? Because she looked jacked up.
Yeah, she looked jacked up. Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. We got to look this over. Straw, called Straw, right? Because I think I seen it. I mean, that movie trash. Why the movie? Oh, you seen it? You already seen it? That movie trash. Not seen one.
But I'll say, Rain, women are second because they stand behind us so that we can take the brunt of everything that the world has to throw at us. Am I saying that women don't have it hard out here in certain circumstances? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, I don't know why it's so hard. And I wonder, even if I was born as a woman, would I be able to look at this objectively? Because men conquered the world.
But
we made the world easy with the help of women in certain areas. Yes, we didn't do it on our own, but we conquered the world. More men have died in wars. Why? To protect home. They didn't want to.
This was a conversation. This was a conversation that me and Rain been having from the chat. Rain says we're not considered second. I say yes, we are considered second in this society. We are.
When something happens, stand behind me. Let me take this. I
said most of the men think that way, and half of the women think that way. That women are in second place. And then you have women who don't think that way. And what I said was, just imagine the men waking up and knowing that they're in second place.
Well, I mean, how would that look, HQ?
No. I'm just saying. Put yourself in the shoes of a woman. You know you're in second. You know you're in second position all the time.
Okay. And you know the men is out here doing the things for you to be able to succeed as well. I would feel flattered. Wow. They put themselves out there so I could be successful. All these men I don't even know, building the infrastructure, doing all this stuff. The mass of the police force, the mass of the military, the mass of the firefighters.
Ty said no. Ty said no.
No what?
He said no. He wouldn't say women are second class.
Not second class. Not second class. We're not saying class.
Second, how would I say it, Jay? You said it before.
I don't know what I say. I'll be talking. I have a thought, and once that thought is like a fart.
You
Once
be
it's out,
talking.
it's gone. It's
You
gone.
be talking. I
Hey,
be
saying it's
talking.
on fire though. But seriously, women aren't second class citizens.
Mm-hmm.
But in society, women are second. That doesn't mean they're worst.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if second is the right thing to say about it.
Right.
Think about this from a dating perspective, right? What woman out there says, I'm going to make the best of myself so I can take care of a man, and I can have kids so that man can raise my kids?
None that
I can't. You know what? I can't wait to take a man out on a date and show him that I can take care of him and wine and dine him and take him to get steak and lobster and then take him back home and rub his feet and hit that gooch up and then let him get these reverberations in. What woman is saying that? None. No woman is saying they want to take care of a man. They don't even want to go 50-50 when they going 100% and struggling.
Right.
So that lets you know right there, they don't even think that they're in the front.
I'm saying second. I'm saying I believe women are in second position, second place, because I don't know how to describe. I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it the right way. But women are behind men.
I'm in the house. Dante, make me a sandwich.
I just don't know.
How was your day, babe?
Put it right. And make me a sandwich.
Ooh, they tripping at work, Dante. Ooh, take your shoes off, babe. Let me get them feet.
But no.
Hey, you know that game I wanted, right, babe? You know it's coming out this week. I got you.
Wait a minute. I wanted to ask Type Pro. Type Pro, you said that straw is garbage. Why is it garbage? What's wrong with it? So we can't do no review of it, or is it just garbage? You don't think we can do a review of it?
I don't want to see that movie.
Because it's single baby.
Y'all have fun.
Whatever.
Y'all have fun. We had enough of them. I need more Wakanda movies. I don't need no more turmoil. Man. I don't need no more slave movies. I don't need no more black turmoil movies. Where is the black sci-fi movies at? There was a movie. Your boy Michael B. Jordan came in at the end of it, and I forgot the name of it. It was like a little light-skinned kid or something like that. And his like uncle was a white dude or something. He found this gun from these troops. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And then Michael B. Jordan comes out at the end with like a tech suit on with this gun out this portal and stuff like that with the wife who's like, we're your parents or something like that coming with us.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't.
Where's the rest of this movie at?
I can't. I know what you're talking about because I was like fucked up when I seen him too.
Where the black sci-fi movies at, man? Where's the black what's the Nicolas Cage movie? He going through history. Where's that movie for black people? It's a ton of movies we can have. This black turmoil.
Yeah. I mean that'd be an interesting thing. We do a segment of reviewing a movie, regardless of what it is. I mean, wait a minute. She says if what SBC speaks of was a movie, it would be Straw.
Yeah, facts. That's all straw.
It's not garbage. It's deeper than just a struggling black woman. It's deeper than that. My homegirl said it's decent.
Oh God, it's always deeper. It's always deeper than the struggling. But we've been so conditioned. That's all we won't deal with is struggle. We're the middle class white black family. That's why I like Ice Cube. Are we there yet? It was a silly, stupid movie.
Right.
But it was normal. He was normal.
Right.
He was just middle class, kind of like Parent Trap kind of thing, whatever. Beautiful.
Right.
Where's the middle? Where's the middle movies?
Right.
I don't need the struggle and stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm not watching no more Color Purples, man. No more Rosewoods. Man, they let us watch Rosewood in like 6th grade in school, man. You know how.
Okay. We go for Juneteenth. We can go through all the good movies of the last couple of years.
12 Years a Slave, Amistad.
Ooh, I hate them kind of movies, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That weighs on your soul, man. Yeah, where the Dr. Doolittle's at, man?
Ooh, I hated Dr. Doolittle too. I don't like them guys.
Why?
Cause they too goofy for me. I don't.
Yeah, goofy, just goofy.
I like dramas, but I just don't like. Period pieces all the way back there. You know,
I did watch Django though. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Django, yeah.
Yeah, Django was good. This was good. Yeah, we got to figure out. You come up with 4 good movies. I come up with 4. Ty, you come up with 4 good movies. I come up with 4 good movies. Then we'll do it. Yes, we will. We do it. Jay, give me your final thoughts, sir. Final thoughts.
I don't know how we're going to come to a resolution on this court system unless all the men and women who are allies
How can we start a movement?
Laws.
How can we start a movement to do
grassroots petitions and stuff like that? State by state, county by county.
Right.
That's it.
Because we need that birth control. See, this Chris Christie, no, what's his name? Doug Christie. That's the most famous case we done had of somebody getting duped all the way throughout having a kid. So they should propel that forward with that movie as a highlight, letting people know this is how important it is to have paternity at the beginning of having a baby. This when you have a baby, paternity test right off the bat, so we can make the determination. Then we can go forward.
I was watching a little snippet. I think I forgot who it was. It was live, and it had a couple of different court cases in one, and each one was a sister with two dudes for paternity, and it was three of them back to back. Each time, neither of the dudes was the dad. So some of the dudes was like, "Yeah, knew it." The other dudes was like breaking down, crying because they had bonded with these kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the black female judge, I forgot what her name is, and she was like, "Now you up here telling me this? What haven't you told me? Like who do you know who?" And she like, "No, judge." And the other lady's like, "Yeah, I have. It was 4 other people during that time." And she said, "You mean to tell me in the span of you being able to have a kid, you was with 6 dudes or 4 dudes or something like that?" She was like, "Yes, Your Honor." I'm like, oh my goodness.
That's wild. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Thank you, Jay. Mr. Walker, $2. Yeah, we finna look at that straw. Y'all. Salute, Jay Tillman. Do better, HQ.
It's supposed to be the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what it's supposed to be.
I don't know. I'm assuming so. I haven't seen it, but I look at it. I take a look at it. I hate certain things though. I hate certain movies.
Like Precious. Made me depressed, man.
Yeah, it did.
Everything that girl was going through.
Yeah.
Calling the baby a monk, like.
And I only seen it one time. I only seen that movie one time. I never watched that movie again.
Never watch it again.
I can't watch it again.
I'll never watch it again. I'll never watch it again. And another corny movie, Antoine Fisher. That was supposed to be serious, but I'll never watch that movie again.
Right.
I'll never watch it again.
There's just certain ones I won't watch again because it's like, why you put that on film, and I just don't relate to it. I couldn't relate. I watched Color Purple maybe once or twice. I couldn't really get through it. It's just certain movies I'm not gonna watch.
And our culture loves Color Purple, man. We quote it. We love to sing. You show is ugly.
Right.
Yeah. My king, ain't nobody take from me. Talk to my sister right now. She's going to quote that whole movie to you. Like, why you love that movie? She just loves it.
But you can't tell me nothing about Eddie Murphy's movies, though. Sure can't.
Pluto Nash. Let me see some Pluto Nash, man.
No, what's that one? He's the twin lady. No, he's a lady. He's his wife or something. She plays his wife.
You talking about Norbit?
Yes. I love that movie.
Norbit, did you move my seat up?
She said, "You want to start a fight at wedding? Who starts a fight at wedding? Oh man,
that's on SBC too. That's who they review. That chick that they talk about the don't you love when I come around?
Oh,
that kid.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what comes after that. We laugh at that part because it's like, this dude look funny. He just singing a little song. A lot of people don't know what comes after him singing that little tune.
What comes after that? What?
She go upside the back of his head.
Oh shit! Oh, I ain't seen that. Show didn't. Ooh, wait.
Yeah.
What is
She's
that?
sitting back there doing something. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the hill. That's what happens.
That's crazy.
That. But Gap can't show it, so they clip it. But that's the part of that. That's why they show that part.
Oh,
he a little dude and she's a big girl.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild. Well, hey,
and she comfortable enough. He was on live HQ, and she was comfortable enough to do that. on live.
Online.
You tell me whatever man is comfortable enough to do that live, he ready to go to jail. He got a boyfriend or a girlfriend in jail. He want to go back. That's where he's going.
We're gonna put a list.
What he say? What? What up, G?
What he say?
That's what he say. What he say?
What?
Pick you up, then I take you down.
Yo, wild. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me up again.
All right. But we gonna fight. Yes, Ty Pro. Yeah, let's do some. Let's put some stuff together. We're gonna do some things. Okay, so we're gonna come up with some movies. Y'all put it in the chat. Some good movies we can review for Juneteenth. We want to do how many movies? Probably 4. Maybe 4. Let's do 5. Okay, let's do 5 and 5. I come up with 5, you come up with 5. And then Eddie Murphy movies? Eddie Murphy movies? Shit. No, we doing Eddie Murphy movie. We coming up with 5 good movies. Not necessarily Eddie Murphy movie. 5 good movies. 5 and 5. Okay. Willy Wonka's a black movie? Wait a minute. Willy Wonka? Really? Ain't that with Donnie Depp or some shit? Men in Black. Oh no. Hell no. No, we're gonna come up with 5, Ty. 5 good for the proud. FROUO. 5 good ones. Hell yeah. We're gonna come up with 5 good ones. I thank y'all. Showing up. Thank you for showing up.